stand. I carry that crest in my hand, rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold, every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the badge says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Let the whole ground shake, let the whole world know. We don't chase a moment, we are the home. Hands up high, voice up loud. Same old pride, same crowd. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Yeah. Ooh. Blue till the end, blue till the end. Loyalty stays even through the storm. From the bridge to the stand, I carry that crest in my hand, rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold, every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the badge says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Let the whole ground shake, let the whole world know. We don't chase a moment, we are the home. Hands up I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold. Every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the badge says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Let the whole ground shake, let the whole world know. We don't chase a moment, we are the home. Hands up high, voice up loud. Same old pride, same crowd. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Yeah. Ooh. Blue till the end, blue till the end. Loyalty stays even through the storm. From the bridge to the stand, I carry that crest in my hand. Rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold. Every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the badge says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Let the whole ground shake, let the whole world know. We don't chase a moment, we are the home. Hands up high,
Yes, good people, big up to all of you. Welcome back to Chelsea Perspective and welcome out for another edition of the Blue Morning Show. I do hope you're all doing well. We have quite a lot lined up to talk about today. We will talk about Myles Lewis-Skelly. Kelly, is that how you say his name? Linked with a move to Chelsea. Apparently, he's been offered the Chelsea Football Club. We'll talk about Badiashile, Axel Disasi. We'll talk about Enzo Fernández staying. We'll talk about the players being back at Cobham, who is back, and he'll maybe, I don't think any players at this point is missing. And we have a lot lined up to talk about, as I already said. And after that, if we exhaust it quicker than usual, then we'll go news hunting. Because yeah, I can guarantee you there are a lot of stuff out there may still talk about. We don't have all of them lined up to talk about, and we can go news hunting in case anything new emerged as the show progressed. And I am happy to let you know that you're guaranteed to get diversified opinion, as we already have the captain of the community in Constantine Dante on the panel with me. So sit back, relax. Let's hear from you, and again learn from you. And or you can also listen to us and present your counter opinion in the chat. And as long as your contributions are aligned, be rest assured that we will address them. Dante, how are you doing, man? And thank you for finding the time to join me on the panel. Mm-hmm. Excellent, and thank you for joining. I'm quite sure you've seen the pictures of the players in training. That makes me happy. But I think we'll just go one by one as the as the system was still developing and working on as it presents it to us. Give me a second here. We go to that window, and the first item reads: 7 players report back to training. There might be more. I don't know. But according to Bobby Vincent, Enzo Fernández, Morgan Rogers, Max Sons, Lacroix, Jordan Henderson, Valentin Barco, Reece James, and Malo Gusso all reported back to training today. All of them. And as you can see in the picture there, you can see Barco, Enzo Fernández, Reece James, Emmanuel Emera, Morgan Rogers. Looks like Emera, he's fully fit. I'm suspecting he stays, but that's my opinion anyway. Just give me a second here. Before I hear from Dante, nothing too serious to talk about players being back, but maybe he'd have 1 or 2 things to say about that. No need for this vote. He can play like none of them, and I'm not sure I understand that. All right. Big up, Jay. Always nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. And of course, my bro, Oluwaro commit Tam without an S. I'm trying the best I can, but every time I try,
maybe Temi.
Yeah, Tammy anyway. Temi. It's written there because every time I try to say it that way, I find myself adding an S to it, which means he is the female musical artist from Nigeria called Thames. But that's by the way, Dante. Anything you want to say? The picture on the screen, the players. We have, you could say, a full squad now. Maybe we'll still sign 1 or 2 players. I don't know. But yeah, the mood is good within the community, in my opinion. But go ahead.
Yeah, look, they're all back. Enzo Fernández looks like he's got a very, very nice tan there. He's been spending a lot of time in the sun.
It looks like it.
And yeah, Max and Lacroix at the back there with the red boots. Omega, yeah, he's back. He's ready to go from his little injury. And one more probably, and that's Pep Chavaria. He's probably doing all the media duties first, which that's why he's not there. So,
but probably not going to start until a few days.
Yeah, probably doing all the media stuff, etc. And he might pop up later or tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, he'll be pretty busy doing that first.
Yeah, it took a while, and I'm not sure what led to the delays. And I'm certain Chelsea fans started getting concerned, especially after we were told that they moved the goalpost on 2 occasions. So it was easy for one to start suspecting, is it going to happen or not? But given Fabrizio's assurance, I was certain definitely we've gotten the deal across the line probably a few more things being ironed out behind the scenes. And another assurance, the fact that the interview leaked on a Korean platform. Did you see that too?
Of which? Of who?
Chavaria.
No, I
I'm
haven't
not.
seen
Yeah,
that.
it leaked on the Korean website. So maybe I'm not sure whether maybe somebody made it up because AI is more powerful than a lot of people give it credit for.
Exactly.
There's
Yeah.
a chance somebody you say cooked up something and put it out there, and it drew the attention of Chelsea fans worldwide, believing that that's the truth. But just by the way, good pictures there, and there are. We'll go. I don't think maybe we should do that now. I've checked. Vince doesn't have a lot of the pictures on his timeline, so I've decided to start the show today with Chelsea Dodgers. Not bad. I trust him. Hardly ever you could say
Yeah.
mess things up with his personal opinions. Sometimes you do see his opinions because he's human after all. But I trust him as much as I trust Vince. Give me a second here. Let's look at some
Yeah, he's
pictures
good.
since we've talked about play. Go ahead.
He's one of the good ones as well. He's pretty good. So yeah.
Yeah, I trust him. Yeah. So let's look at some pictures here since we started with the reports on players returning. Let's see what else do we have here. It says who do you think will start on Saturday? Mike Penders or Robert Sanchez? I don't know, but since Robert Sanchez played the last game, maybe would see Penders start, and it's still a friendly. So, but can we try and keep the topics aligned? When it's time for Q&A, we'll let you know that you can ask your questions. Otherwise, I will assume you're having a conversation with someone in the chat. So let's go back here while that page refreshes. Let's go back to this presentation window. That's the second item there. Give me a second here. Yep, this one, detail 2. Is it? Yeah, it says, according to Kieran Gill, DM, all Chelsea players who played in the World Cup semi-finals will return to Cobham today. And as you can see, Morgan Rogers there and putting in some gym shift. And behind him, not necessarily behind him, by his side, but still behind him, Reece James, looking good, even though these are just pictures. And the fact that we're hearing that they're all back in training, I think that lifts the mood a bit. I'm not sure why, Dante, but it does.
Yeah, look, seeing them all together in the same shirt, yep, after the World Cup definitely helps. Yes.
And Enzo Fernández, in my opinion, it looks more like he's going to stay. I'm just going to touch upon that one quickly. I'd say 80 to 20, leaning towards him staying because, yeah, the valuation is a factor. And the fact that we're hearing that he is actually not pushing it, I hope they find a solution with regards to his and give him a pay rise that I think he deserves. I think that will sort out everything because the whole thing started when they started discussions with for improved salary. And when then they didn't agree on something, I think that was when he lost his mind. And I think if you find yourself in his shoes, I think you do the same too because it's work. Most importantly, Tobias, nice to see you. Go ahead, Dante.
Exactly. He values himself at a certain price, and he had probably the best season. Obviously, he had a very big season for us. It proved, how important he is to the team. So, yeah, other people got a raise. He wanted a raise. Now, obviously, something went wrong in between. Who knows what, in what way, how much, or there's so many fees and so many clauses in the contracts. Who knows what it's about? But yeah, look, he will get a raise. Every player gets a raise that performs at Chelsea. That's what their contracts are about. You come here, you play for us, you prove yourself. Well, you'll get a raise. You'll get what you deserve. So now, is he asking probably too much? Maybe, we don't know. But yeah, for that, we don't really know that at the moment. But we'll wait and see what happens. But yeah, most likely he stays. There is still an opportunity. There's still a couple of clubs out there that could probably still buy him. And let's not forget there is the opportunity. Man City, of course, are very after him. Maresca really, really wants him there, especially if Rodri's going to leave as well. So we'll see what happens.
And
Don't
the
be
truth
surprised.
remains, the season ending the way it did was also a factor. You would want out too if you could say the workplace turns toxic,
Exactly.
then everybody can any sensible worker would want out because you want stability. And the way the season ended, it was chaotic. The manager lost it. They also lost a manager that they won 2 trophies together with. They liked him, loved him, and at the time probably didn't know that the manager himself wasn't that committed because they probably didn't know he started speaking to Man City as early as October. But the point I was trying to make is this: the way the season ended was definitely a serious factor in making it easier for some players to start itching to leave, in my opinion. But go ahead if you want to add to that.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, of course, it didn't go to plan. So, you know, players like, Enzo Fernández and that, they have high ambitions. They think very highly of
Mm-hmm.
themselves. They have a big ego, which is, you know, that's what makes him who he is and how good he is. So, yeah, look, he looked at other options if there's any out there. And yeah, look, I think Chelsea, then proving that, we are taking, it's been the 5 years, we're taking that corner, we're taking that turn now. We're going to start signing different type of players as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, that's helped a lot, bringing the quality players that we're bringing in, etc. The manager, of course, that's probably changed a lot of things that will, might sway his mind to stay. But then again, I keep going back to the fans, and the fans, unfortunately, at our beautiful club are a big problem because they don't really like him at all, or they don't show him too much love, to be honest. So that can sometimes turn a player away. And if anything says about what they wrote in the last sort of few days, in the last week,
Mm-hmm.
and you probably saw the polls they did. If you saw the polls they did for
No, I
Chelsea,
haven't seen it.
ninety
Yeah, go
percent
ahead.
of Chelsea fans want him out, gone. Don't want to see him in a Chelsea shirt ever again. So
But you could
and Enzo
argue
Fernandez
some
sees
of
that.
them, you could say most of them definitely driven by him twerking for Real Madrid and pole dancing for them, as I like to put it. You could argue not
Yes,
a lot of people
yeah.
turned on him after that. A lot
Uh,
more people maybe.
Yeah, look, I think it's well, let's not forget the first they hated him, then they loved him because he spoke about the ownership and wanted out. Now that he actually is back and coming back, now they hate him again because he wants to stay. So it's just not good enough either way, it looks like. But like I say, something like that can turn a player away, it makes the decision much more easier. And when they see something like that, that 90% of Chelsea fans don't like you anymore, they don't love you. Well, they are human. He's human. They have big egos. They can block it out most of the time, but it's pretty hard to block that out if you're not showing any love. So yeah, I think that is a bit of a problem, unfortunately.
Let's see what happened. What happens? In my opinion, I think is more likely going to stay than leave, and that's just my opinion anyway. All right. But let's see. As you can see in the picture, we've called out the names that we're able to recognize in the picture. There's somebody that's behind Rogers. I'm not sure. Oh, that
That's
looks like
Lacroix, yeah.
Welbeck.
It's
Is it
Lacroix.
Lacroix behind Welbeck?
Yeah, he's got
Well,
the red
Lacroix
boots. Yeah,
is
he's
in
got
that
those boots.
dark. Behind Rogers, I think definitely. I think
That's
Welbeck. It looks
Lacroix.
like him. No, Lacroix isn't that dark. If you can see that picture very well,
Yeah, he
behind
is.
Morgan
He's
Rogers,
got
the
the
one.
red boots on, so I know it's him exactly. 'Cause I've seen other
Really?
pictures.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's see. Ishe Samuel Smith has joined Nottingham County on. Is that Nottingham
No,
County
no, no.
on loan for the 2026-27 season? How's it? Did I say that wrong?
It's not County, yeah.
Notts County, not Nottingham. Okay, Notts County. According to Chelsea FC, the club confirms, okay, that Ishe Samuel Smith has joined Notts County. The move is a loan deal for the 26-27 season. I hope he does well. He went on loan towards the end of the season to Strasbourg, right?
He did go to Strasbourg to, yeah, try to a bit of a trial in a way. He went to see how if it would work out, if he wants to stay. And I think he was there for a couple of weeks, but I don't think he stayed too long. To be honest, I think he got an injury and then he came back, something like that.
Mm. All right. Major Strength TV. I think maybe you're looking at a different picture. The picture I'm looking at, Emira was visible. Emira clearly you could see you could add almost side by side with Rogers. We're talking about the guy behind Morgan Rogers that you cannot
Yeah,
see his face, but his leg and his boot. So Dante probably must have seen Maxence Lacroix's boot, which is why he's certain that was Max Lacroix. So, but yeah,
correct. Yeah.
we're not. It's not. Yeah, I don't know. I think his unsteady overall behavior is a thing of concern that has always triggered mixed emotions from the fans, from the fan base. Okay, that needs to be addressed. Overall, I feel he's like that because he's young. I don't know about unsteady overall behavior.
No,
I
nothing
don't.
wrong. He's
I
done.
don't
He
agree
hasn't
with
done
that
anything
aspect.
wrong
Yeah, I don't agree with the first
up until
um
that. Yeah.
yeah, I don't agree that to anything. I don't think he has behavioral issue at all. Not him. He doesn't have attitude issue. And as I've said, and as you've heard Dante say too, the whole thing started when they started conversation. His camp started speaking with the club to find an agreement for a pay rise. And when that thing happened, it triggered him. And I said, maybe, or most likely, in my opinion, the way the season ended, a lot of players would want to leave if they feel like things will not stabilize. And the way the whole thing imploded for me was problematic. And you could argue, had that not been the case, maybe would still have Cucurella here.
No,
But
I think
I,
Cucurella's different.
mhm,
Yeah, I think Cucurella was always going to go because of his personal circumstance. That's very
mm,
well documented. They were looking to go back, so because of his son, etc. So and to go back to family. So there was a big personal issue there as well. That's why Cucurella was always going to go back.
mhm. All right, more likes, people. More likes. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. So we'll go try and see how many training pictures we can see. And the only thing that can get fans and trailed again is his commitment and on-field performances. But the rest assured that if he stays, you get that from him. He's always committed. He's always
Yeah.
committed. But as humans, sometimes commitment alone isn't enough. Will not be enough because you try your best, and your best maybe on some days will not be enough to get results. He's always committed, in my opinion. I don't question his commitment whenever he's on the pitch. He gives 100% plus. If anything, the only issue I've ever since he joined us, the only time I've had an issue with him, that talking and pole dancing for Real Madrid. Nothing, in my opinion. But I get it. This is Morgan Rogers in training. Beautiful picture there. Enzo Fernández also in training. All smile, not all smiles here, but one of the pictures shared on X. He was smiling, looked happy. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's when they
even
entered
if
the field first. But the thing when you come back preseason, it's all fitness work. It's not very. You're not going to smile very much. They're very
but
unfit,
that
and
was one.
yeah,
You could say he's all smiles in that particular picture. It's fair for any player to want out when what they expect is not met. Okay, if the parties involved resolve the issue, there's nothing like he and proper choice. Look, this is work.
correct. Yeah,
This
that's
is
it.
work. Make the player happy, and he'd be committed. And sometimes
I don't
even
think we can
money
question his
wouldn't be enough to
commitment.
get a player to stay. If a player feels like he'd be happier going somewhere else, you can't stop that.
Yeah, and we can't really question his commitment. He's been here
No,
5 years, nearly 5 years now,
yeah,
since he's joined. 4 years,
that's
sorry,
the
and
list of my concerns, really.
yeah, he stayed when it was really tough. the first couple of years was really tough.
Joined us when we had a lot of issues at the time, even before he joined us. So I don't question his commitment. I just didn't like the way he behaved because he wanted to go to Madrid, and he cannot deny that that was on purpose because he wanted to engineer a move to Madrid. Or maybe my theory at the time was that he realized that maybe we might need to sell certain players to balance the books, and he wanted. This is just a theory. I'm not sure. I'm not an accountant, but everything that has happened so far suggests that financially we were never going to struggle to sign players we want. That forget the pro bono accountants and X and all that. Maybe he wanted to force himself into that list of players that the club would consider selling to make money and balance the book. Just once again, just a theory. I don't work for the club, and I'm not sure about that. Well, maybe not overall, but I think he acts mostly on unchecked. Mostly on unchecked whims, going about pushing for a move, knowing how fans will feel about it, and he doubled down. I didn't like that too. He should know a better way to enforce his desires. Let's see. He's always committed, and I love him for always playing for the badge. But he needs to do even more this season if he wants to win the hearts of the fans again. That I think, and as I've said before, I don't question his commitment. If he stays, be rest assured he'll give it his best. In all honesty, especially if he sees this maybe as the last season for him at the club, I think he would want to win the Premier League too. So that's how I want to see it.
He has to, yeah. He's a professional, but if he wants a big move, he has to basically. You gotta,
and again, that's very important too. If you want a big move, you'd have to show that you can play for any club in the world. But go ahead. What you were saying?
Yeah, well, look, he probably was our best player last season, to be honest. 20 goals, assists, 20 G8. That was pretty impressive what he did for
and possibly what got into his head.
And it does go to your head. And, if Real Madrid call your agent and they speak, it does get to your head because you're thinking of your future and a lot of money. And these guys, like we say, it's a business. They're fully committed. It's work for them. It's very much work. And, when you get a chance to get a massive, massive pay rise and go to the biggest club in the world, well, of course your head's going to get turned. And, when circumstances at your club not quite going the way you want as well, it just makes it easier. And that's why I said the fans do make it easier. If they don't love you and they don't show you that love, well, that'll make it even more easier. So, that's unfortunately. That's how it is.
And Houston, match host, I've been one of his biggest defenders, and I know that. I know a lot of our fans don't appreciate him that much. And that's not an opinion. Actually, I think it'd be accurate to say, for me, that's a fact.
Oh, it's a fact.
Honestly, I don't think our fans appreciate him or not. Some because they don't appreciate him enough because some fans don't just understand what he brings to the table. They want him to be Caicedo, even when the manager started using him as a hybrid of 8 and 6, which he only comes deep to collect the ball. Even at that, he does a lot of running, covers a lot of ground, and defensively not a sport a lot of people make it out to be. He's not Moises Caicedo, but if you pay attention to the way he applies himself on the pitch, he actually contributes a lot defensively, given the sort of player he is actually. We've had that, you could say, God bless his soul, Rogers, when he was still alive, we had that conversation when some fans were debating that he not physical enough for the Premier League. We at the time had to explain, look, he can be physical. You can muscle him off the ball. You'd have to commit a foul to take the ball away from him. And because being a typical South American player, instead of him to wrestle with you, he knows what to do to draw a foul rather than wrestle with you, which most intelligent players do, irrespective of how big they are. But that's, by the way, more likes, people, more likes. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. They're different, so no need. I'm not gonna go that far. But Bobby, big up and welcome to the panel. I do hope you're doing well. Enzo Fernández pictured Uh, at Cobham, one of the pictures all smiles, the other, because yeah, his serious their training didn't look like he was smiling, but that's nothing. He wasn't frowning. You want to be serious when you're training. I've said this. I think I did say that to somebody. I don't know whether it was on X or in I think it was Tobago private message, and I told him for me, 80 to 20% leaning towards him staying because Manchester City with Elliot Anderson, even he, I don't think it makes sense for him to go there. In my opinion, maybe if he considered the fact that they have a European assignment, which means that there'll be a lot of games for them to there'll be enough minutes for them to share, and he gets to play enough. He might not want to go there, and City also might not be able to spend that much because they're not going to make a lot from the sale of Rodri, who already made it clear he wants to leave, and he's also picked the club he wants to go to. He picked Barcelona over Real Madrid, which makes it difficult. Which also you could say makes it difficult for Man City to get how much they want for him. But Bobby, let's hear your thoughts. What do you think Enzo Fernandez's situation? What do you think happens?
Yeah,
I
big
think
up,
he stays.
coach. Big
Big
up,
up to you too.
Dante. I was
Yeah,
wondering
Bobby.
when you were going to let me talk. Coach,
Yeah.
Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez is a immature, developing, highly emotional Latin boy. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He is reactionary, and
Sounds like very Chelsea to me.
he's just that guy. You saw him in the World Cup, what he did. You saw him the way he cried at the Club World Cup. He's very, very emotional, quite immature. When you consider his age, he's quite young. Young people do stupid things. You know, he got himself all mixed up in that silly racial thing. I honestly believe he's not that way. He's just doing it to be one of the lads on the bus singing a song. He probably doesn't fully appreciate the impact, and that's why he was filming himself and put it out there. You know, just daft. Football has the great footballers have littered professional football with players that behave in foolish ways. I think of people like Paul Gascoigne, and the list goes on. George Best, you know, even the great
Imagine Bobby
Maradona
before social
himself.
media back then. 20.
You know,
Imagine the stuff that
exactly. You know,
would be
so
ridiculous. Yeah.
I think a lot of the things people say about Enzo is absolutely not true. I think Enzo Fernandez, his flirting with Real Madrid came about from the shambles Chelsea was in last season.
A
He
serious
wants
factor.
to win. He
Mhm.
wants trophies. That's what he wants. One of the big things I took out of it, of his comments, because he's never actually come out and said, "Oh, I want to leave Chelsea." All that has come from his agent, and even his agent hasn't said that. They've just flirted with Real Madrid. And what was very telling was that interview he did when he quoted what Messi said to him. I sincerely believe that Enzo has looked at the project, looked at what the ownership has done, and he's felt, well, you know, if they sell me, it is what it is. But if they want me to stay, I will stay. And I can assure you, if Enzo Fernandez stays, he's going to be full throttle for the club. That's just the guy he is. He will bleed blue. He will die on the pitch. He will give everything. That's how he is. Now, people are talking about, oh, this might be okay if he stays. It's one contract. Then next season, next summer, he will BS. If we're successful, Enzo's not going anywhere.
And
He's not
as we've
interested in all
as we've
that
talked about,
nonsense.
Bobby, if you don't mind, winning changes everything. Changes a
Of
lot.
course it does.
Mhm.
Of course it does. That's all he wants. Winning. Of course he wants a bumper contract. I think if it is decided upon that he stays, then it's likely the club will give him another contract, and at least in that contract alleviate the impact of the loss of income that not being in the Champions League would create. And this guy will give you his soul. This is what he does. Everything he did last season was out of emotion. He was humiliated last season, like everybody else. The fans, the players, the club. We've went through a period of utter humiliation. Chelsea going 5 consecutive games, losing 3-0, some of which at home was just unacceptable for a club of this magnitude. And he came to this club to fulfill its magnitude, not to be languishing, almost showing relegation form. So the club has now shown they want to change their ways with the players he's clearly seeing in the dressing room from the training pictures, and the new manager who undoubtedly will be talking to him and telling him where his position is. Now, winning doesn't come on your lap. But when you have the tools around you, the better players around you to be able to facilitate that, then you can achieve that and he will be encouraged. Enzo, if he wins it big this season, he's not going anywhere. He'll want to see it through. He will want a Champions League trophy with Chelsea. That's what they all want. So let's wait and see what happens. I'm not convinced about this whole Man City thing. You know, they're quite stocked with midfielders. They've spent over 200 million. They still have financial charges outstanding over them. There's a lot of issues there. They're looking for offensive players to replace Servinho, who's likely to go to Spurs. I'm not sure. You know, I'm not saying it's not possible. You never say never in football. You can never say never about Real Madrid in football since they've missed out on Rodri. Although from all I'm seeing is that Rodri is not. I mean, Rodri is the physical profile that Mourinho wants, and he seems quite happy with the ones he's got that are close to that profile.
That
But
was a
we shall
painful. That
see.
was a painful rejection in my because they probably thought they had him.
Rodri.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Madrid.
mean,
Yeah,
it's true. I mean, but you know, it's football. There's no club in the world, big, small, medium, large, that doesn't go through an element of rejection. You know, players reject clubs for different reasons, and him going to Barcelona, I mean, to be honest,
Mhm.
Barcelona actually fits him better. The kind of player he is, the need they have, the manager they have,
Mhm.
as opposed to Mourinho. The whole thing, the fact that all the Spanish boys are mainly in Barcelona, I think it fits him better. And I'm not surprised he's chosen to go there. You know, their ball playing side, and you know, he can add something. He can add what Busquets added to the Barcelona of old. His height, he has more physicality than Busquets, but Busquets, although he looked lean, was quite a strong guy. He did a lot of that combative work in the Barcelona midfield, so that that allowed Xavi and Iniesta to do their thing, and of course Messi as well.
Mhm.
So that is where we are. I personally think that Enzo will stay. I can't see the future, but he can look and see a path for himself in this Chelsea team for sure.
No. All right, let's see. Bobby, I appreciate you for that. I'm gonna try and catch up with what give the microphone. I'm gonna try and give the microphone to those in the chat, give the microphone back to them and hear what they have to say. Tammy always happy whenever he sees Bobby. And Arsenal fan here, I think, telling us that Myles Lewis-Skelly is not for sale. Thank you, Bobby. He just captured my overall perception of him, emotional immaturity. Okay, you have to send Bobby something. He seemed to capture your opinion and your mindset all the time. But much love, Timmy. You know I love you. Big up to you too, Dante, Bobby, and everyone in the chat. Can not wait for Valentino Barco at Chelsea.
Big
He
up,
would be
Teddy.
perfect
Coach
for
just
squad
wants us to
depth.
fight.
Yeah, yep.
Just want me fighting with them. That's right.
All right, is that what you think I want? Okay. But thank you, Mabasta. I appreciate you. Let's see what else we have here. And my bro, Jimmy Case TV is in the house. If you're a top player and you see your manager is Virginia, you'd want to leave. Try to leave, especially if things start falling apart. I think they gave him a chance, but his ego got to him. He was the architect of his own failure at Chelsea, in my opinion. There are things you don't just do, jumping on the bandwagon of everyone else for contractual reasons. You're gonna get into serious trouble. I agree with you. And yes, people, go check out my bro's YouTube channel, Jimmy Case TV YouTube channel. The link there. Go check it out. Let's help him get to 10,000 subscribers as soon as possible. He deserves it. If you love Chelsea, you'd love his content. Yeah, and his football knowledge, excellent too. Let's help him grow. I haven't created a command for him. I would have just figured the command, but I had to do it manually. Also, Alonso will prove it to be our biggest signing. We are talking a legendary baller. These lads are getting coached by now. Enzo's first training session, seeing Alonso ping the ball across the pitch, he will stay. Okay, maybe if that's gonna get him to stay, I'd love to see it happen. But Levi Colwell said something that suggests, I mean, jokingly, of course, that he was jealous the way he was pinging the passes and all that. During his day, he was excellent on the ball, and his passing range at the time. I think the only person that I'd say maybe better than him was Pirlo, the Italian. Maybe I haven't actually compared both, but that's by the way. And thank you for that contribution right there. No worry, my bro. We all support the biggest club in London, and it's all love. I hope your channel grows so that we'll be able to reach more fans. Something I wanted to say, but I lost it. What was it again? Oh my gosh, I think I got that from something I read. But I'm just gonna move on anyway. But let's talk about the next item we have here. Maybe we'll finish enjoying the pictures from the training session today. Jordan Henderson, he's in the gym. He was out to one of the pictures. He was outside training with his teammates. Maxence Lacroix. We got that one done for Bobby. I hope he's happy. And I wanted him. I was shocked to see some Chelsea fans not wanting the club to sign him because they didn't think he wasn't good enough, or maybe they watched him. Go ahead.
One thing our fan base has to accept is this guy isn't going to bring you silky skills and all that. He won't be a ball player like Levi Colwell.
Mhm.
But what he will bring is steel, aerial capability,
Dominance.
and exactly, he's going to do all that. Now, sometimes people may say, "Well, isn't that what Dasasi did?" Kinda, there were too many mistakes in Dasasi. I think Dasasi was unlucky. There were times he was excellent for Chelsea as a centre back. At other times, he was just calamitous. Um, I don't think there will be that many errors in Lacroix, but don't expect him to be a silky skill guy. No, he's going to be a battling brick wall that would help keep.
Gets the job done. It doesn't have to be clean.
Exactly.
Yeah. Dante, I don't know if you have anything to add to that one. Yes, more likes, people, more likes. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. Vince just posted that Arsenal aren't interested in selling Myles Lewis to Chelsea. They're going to say that, but if the player wants to leave, as we always say here, that changes everything. They'd have to sell him, in my opinion. Dante, anything you want to say about Lacroix? What can we expect from him? I think, in my opinion, Bobby said it all. He don't expect him to be, you could say, Rolls Royce of a centre back. And he's, in my opinion, he's pretty comfortable on the ball. but that's not his thing. He likes to
Yeah.
simplify things, doesn't take too much risks. That, like we see from John Stones or maybe the Dutch international at Liverpool, he simplifies it. And I agree with Bobby. You're not going to be seeing a lot of errors from him. But Dante, let's say, what can we expect from Maxence Lacroix?
Yeah, he keeps it a bit more simple. But I was quite shocked when I saw him playing for France. He looked like a ball playing centre back, and he was doing half turns and step overs. It was doing skill moves. I'm like, okay, I haven't seen that before at Crystal Palace. And that's also, the who you're playing with, who you got next to you,
And the
what
manager
system you're playing in.
demands, right?
What it demands. So we don't really see that at Crystal Palace because he's got a different job, different formation, and he doesn't need to do that. So he's too busy, keeping the line and doing the defensive duties and looking and
Mm.
talking to teammates, organizing, and that's why he's such an important signing because he does that in a back three. So he's that central guy in a back three. So you know. Xavi Alonso, that's probably one of the main reasons he wanted him, all the defensive, but also that he's got experience playing in that formation and leading that defense in that formation. I think that was very important, of course, for Xavi Alonso as well, because if he's gonna gravitate towards that formation, which I think he will, that is very, very important to have that in your CV, that you've played and proven the last couple of years at Crystal Palace that he can do it really, really well. And they've won a couple of trophies as well, so he's a winner as well. So yeah, look, he's a very important signing. I'm not sure what's wrong with some of our fans when I saw, like you said, saying no, we shouldn't be signing him. He's not good enough. Yeah,
You know why? Why they watch him with inflated what's the word I'm looking for? Inflated expectations during the World Cup and got disappointed, and especially how you could argue Jude Bellingham mopped the stadium carpet with him, but it happens to even the best of defenders in the world.
yeah. Well, he wasn't
Irrespective of
supposed to
how
play that
good you
game.
are.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Coach, I have to address that one because people keep talking about that. Look, Lacroix played the full 90, and that was what? Close to the 90th minute of the game.
Hmm.
Jude Bellingham had just come on. He was
yeah,
fresh, and
correct.
Jude Bellingham is one of the best
Excellent
players
analysis
in
from
the
Bobby. Yeah,
world. There was
yeah.
no defense. They were all playing cavalier football, and this guy was left with Bellingham charging from the halfway line down on him. Upamecano did nothing. What's his name?
Yeah, they were playing high,
Gusto
Bobby.
did
They were trying
nothing.
to score.
So,
So
and he didn't want to foul him in the box. So, I don't know why people refer to that game. I think that's
But
very
Bobby,
unfair on
even
him.
at that, Bobby, I don't really care. It happens to even the best of the benders. I was
Of
watching
course.
highlights of Alex Scott.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe what the Dutch international, what's his name, at Liverpool,
Van
the,
Dijk.
Van Dijk. You wouldn't believe what he did. He was ball watching.
Yeah.
Even our watch defenders would clear that ball.
Yeah.
He was waiting
Van
for the
Dijk
ball
makes
to go out.
mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember,
It doesn't matter to me, really.
the great
It,
Marcel Desailly, he's made mistakes. I mean, it happens.
yeah,
So, but this wasn't even a mistake.
it
It was
wasn't. It
just
happens
the
to the
role of
best.
play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly,
it
Bobby. It
happens.
was yeah, like I say, that was end of the game. They were chasing their high line.
Bobby
I
nailed it.
mean,
Yeah, yeah.
what do you? You can put any central defender against Jude Bellingham, and he'll do the same to most of them because none of them would be quick enough to keep up to that. So, yeah, especially the way he plays at completely different system at Crystal Palace. Well, yeah, when they were chasing the game right at the end there, it's very different. Yeah, you can't
And
compare
it's
that.
just that, unfortunately, we have that toxic culture of once a player makes a single mistake, we judge him by that. Well, you could
Well, that's the
say,
social media as well
yeah.
because that's the thing they show. People see clips, and that is one of the main clips, and that's all they see.
Mhm.
So it's always context behind everything. But unfortunately, these days, people see little clips, and they base everything on that quickly.
Yeah, I agree. But that's by the way. Let's move on to the next item. I'm going to go back to the presentation window. Let's see what else we have lined up here. Give me a second. So, picture there, Maxence Lacroix. I'm trying to pronounce his name correctly. All right. We will just enjoy looking at the pictures and also maybe in the process discuss what the player brings to the table. Dante, I'm coming back to you again, then I'll go to Bobby. Morgan Rogers, we signed him. You and I think you were one of those. You were on the panel when I talked about if we're signing him as a 10, we should be looking for a more traditional 10. I wouldn't call him a more traditional 10. But I'm happy he's here, and I think he will score a lot of goals and maybe become a much better creator than he is, than he's been, maybe. What does he bring to the table, and what can we expect from Morgan Rogers?
Yeah, look, he has been brought in to be our 10. Can go wide as well, but I think he will be that inside forward, inside 10. Mostly, I think Alonso's going to go with that formation mostly. So, look, he brings goals. He does bring assists. I didn't think he brought that many assists, but he
I
actually
didn't
did
either
numbers.
until I looked at his numbers.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
But it's just
So
that it's not something he does consistently. Like he's not. Don't see him. He's able to orchestrate those defense splitting passes every now and then, but close in the final thought, if you are better positioned, he's capable of finding you. But I wouldn't
yeah.
say his chance creation is at the level of Cesc Fabregas or Juan Mata. No.
Oh no. Look, I looked a little bit back at them. A lot of them are more like basics, more simple assists where he can just pass it across and the guy shoots or scores. It's not really an assist, but it's put down as an assist. So yeah, he doesn't have too many of those, passes in behind or no, he prefers to drive with the ball and shoot and will obviously lay it off a couple of times, like I said, but most of the assists that he had, they're not like proper. I want to say proper assists these days. If you pass the ball to someone and then he scores, it's an assist, but really it's just a little. He didn't
But at
create
least he
much.
has the intelligence to find the better positioned player and ensure the
Yeah,
team
yeah.
scores.
The thing what he does do, he does draw a lot of players to him because he's got that stature. He's quite tall. He's quite big. He's got a lot of meat on him. So he does attract, and the way he plays, because he drives with the ball and likes to keep the ball close to him. He does lose the ball a lot, but that's just the way he plays. But that draws defenders towards him. So then that opens up play for people around him. So that is very important. When you're going to have Palmer and the wing backs, and João Pedro there, well, that's when he was basically the guy doing most of that at Aston Villa because Watkins was out for a long time and he was the main guy basically, carrying that team basically. So yeah, when you have Palmer around, when you're going to have João Pedro around, you're going to have, like I said, the wing backs, he will be able then to, get those players involved and open up the space for them a lot. So I think that's what he's going to bring the most. He's going to really attract a lot. Like I said, shooting, really good shooting, powerful, he's strong. He's actually really good in the air as well because he's nearly 6'2", so 6'1", I think, or nearly 6'2", so he's quite tall as well. So yeah, look, we'll have to wait and see exactly how Alonso uses him. But from what I've seen and looked at, I think he will be using him that inside 10 quite a lot. I think it's going to open up Palmer. Let's not forget they're best friends off the field as well. So, when you're best friend with someone, you know exactly what's in their mind, where he's going to run, what he's going to do, because you're together a lot.
They've also
and you
played
train a
together
lot.
before.
Yeah, and
More
you
importantly,
just
yeah.
train a lot together. And when you have a best friend in soccer, if anyone's ever played with best friends, you already know what they're going to do, where they're going to do, where they're going to move, and vice versa. So I think that partnership is going to be very, very important. And yeah, I think we'll see quite a lot of. It'll be
I don't
quite
want to
fun
start
to
seeing.
watch.
I don't want to start seeing clicks on the pitch though. It can be problematic sometimes.
No, I think he will click. I think he will click. I think the guy that needs to make it even
No,
click
I'm
more, I
saying I
think
don't
João
want to see
Pedro.
clicks in terms of him almost always they both. You could say one of them almost always looking for each other rather than just looking for the best positioned teammate rather than finding his friend.
No, 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 no. At that level, coach, no, it doesn't. They scan the field. You have to have your
Okay, yeah, well, I
scannings
mean,
really
I
well.
don't think the manager, I don't think he'd let it become an issue anyway.
No, well, that's why I'm going. You
Mhm.
can't do that at that level because, yeah, there's so many assistants. There's so much video you're looking at. It's not like that. No, but
They will
it
catch
will
it if it
help.
starts happening. They will
It
catch
will
it.
help. You will see it, I think, from day one that they will click very well and they will find each other very well because, like I said, when you just know what they're gonna do and you enjoy playing together, so you get that joy and thrill from it as well. So yeah, I think João Pedro will be important. He'll be the glue guy between them, João Pedro. And we know
Mhm.
João Pedro when Palmer was really good at the Club World Cup, they were very similar. They were very finding themselves, really passing. It was basically them two. Our whole attack was them two, really one twos, little triangles, you know, uh, putting little balls for each other. So if those three get it going, it'll be pretty hard to stop.
All right, Bobby, you want to add to that? All right, let's look at more pictures before Bobby is back. There, Morgan Rogers in the gym. Who else is here? That's Malagusto. That's definitely Emera. Who's this? One of the staff member? A staff? That guy there? Or is that Henderson? I'm not sure. With long sleeve. And that's Reece James there,
That's
taking a
Henderson,
breather.
coach. Yeah.
That's Henderson. Okay, that's Reece James taking a breather right there. Maxence Lacroix, Enzo Fernández behind him, and this particular picture here, this here confirms that, yeah, the one we
Henderson,
called
yeah.
Henderson, definitely Henderson. This one here, Enzo Fernandez looking serious there. Emmanuel Emera also looks to be back in training. I think he stays
Yeah, I
because it
was
looks
gonna
like.
say I noticed him in training. It's
Mhm.
very unfortunate that we didn't get to see him on tour because we don't really know what he can do, and we don't know if he is an alternative to Nicholas Jackson. Because we haven't really seen him in the Chelsea setup. I also
Yeah, that's for a
noticed
lot.
your
That's for a lot
brother
of
there.
Chelsea. Yeah, go ahead, Bobby. Go ahead.
I,
Go ahead. You're making sense. Go
I
ahead.
also noticed your brother. I said, yeah, coach would be happy to see this guy
Which one?
stinking around. Wellington Barco.
My
That's
boy.
your brother.
He will.
I
I
said, oh,
like
that's
Barco.
coach's
I think
brother.
he will. But Bobby, here's the thing. Um, your debate or argument when we talked about Barco's profile, his build, and everything, the
Hmm.
fact that he's challenged vertically. I understand your concerns. I think we can have players of that measure in terms of their height. Too many of them. I think we have a good mix now. We
We
have a very
seem
good
to
mix.
have a good
Yeah.
mix
Mhm.
everywhere but in midfield. The only thing that might
Don't we?
save us in midfield is if we can have Lavia fit. He's rugged. He's not tall, which is still a problem, but he's rugged, and he's not that short either. But it's a shame. We need somebody over 6 foot in that midfield. Then
Yeah,
you
they're
can
all
surround
5'10",
him.
all of them. Yeah.
Then you can surround him with whatever you want. That's why Barca is going for Rodri. Why does everybody want Rodri? Physicality and technicality. He's got it
And
all.
yeah, and that's rare. You
It's
don't see a
very
lot of
rare.
players
But
that can be as physical as Rodri and as
well,
technically gifted as he
Well,
is.
Chato,
some
he
Not a lot
was,
of
players.
them.
the best player in the world. That's very rare. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's very
mean, yeah,
rare.
but we've had them. Matic was very technical, physical. Mikel was excellent technically, physical. They exist, but they're not that many. And people want these people because once you have them in the middle, then you can pick up your barcodes and whatever. You can surround him with the seven dwarfs. It doesn't matter. You've got someone that's going to to block certain things
Bobby,
and
you're
help
not gonna
protect the
drag me to
defense.
the H place. You will not drag me
Well,
down there. I'm going to the H positive place.
well, that was. But you see what I'm saying. So yeah, we'll
But
see how. Well,
I
Bobby, how
understand
yes,
your
tall was it?
point.
Remember Dennis Wise and that midfield? How tall were those
right.
guys?
Dennis Wise was a very little whippet. He was a nuisance. He was a little guy. But who was next to Dennis Wise? Think about it. We had people like oh, what's the name of that one that went to Liverpool? Oh my gosh, I forget all these names. Oh gosh. Yeah, there was Eddie Newton who wasn't particularly tall. There was oh, what's the name of this guy? He went to Liverpool in the end, but he was tall. There was always somebody with some height in and around Dennis Wise. He was never left there on his own to just battle in the midfield with Eddie Newton. And of course, thank you. Later on, we started having people like Robbie Di Matteo. Yeah, Robbie wasn't particularly tall, but he wasn't small
Is he
either.
even tall? Is
No, he's
Demetri
not
even
tall,
tall?
Bobby. He's small.
He's not
He's
even
just
tall.
5'10", same as everyone.
Yeah, I mean, he's not small either, and he could do a job. And people forgot Robbie was very good with his head. He was all round, left foot, right foot, his head, everything. But you know, it's hard to be without Gustavo Poyet, another one, tall guy in midfield, although he kept getting a lot of injuries.
That was a bit later. Yeah, that was a bit later. But yeah.
All right.
So
Go ahead, Bobby.
you get my gist. But let's see
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
Vallington does. You know, if he's as good as you say, happy days.
No, the only
Yeah,
reason I
but
bring that up
he
is
could still leave on loan. There's no.
yeah.
I mean, it's not
No,
certain
he's
that
not
he
leaving. Bro.
stays.
He's not leaving.
It's-
No way he's
it looks
leaving.
like it.
No,
But
he's not leaving.
let's talk about Emera. I think he stays because look at follow. He scored 2 goals in 2 preseason games, right? And before they travel, then he had that setback. No, it wasn't. Now we're learning that it wasn't as serious as a lot of people, as the media reported. We learned earlier on that he'd be ready for the start of the season by the time they come back to England, and it looks like that's the case. I think he stayed, and I've always said a lot of Chelsea fans don't know him. They don't know
They
him.
don't.
Yeah, for me, because I followed him at Strasbourg and did a lot of research on him, I'm confident. That's why I've always said if he stays
Well,
and
if
Jackson
he's
leaves, I'll be fine, and vice versa. But if I had to pick, I'd pick Jackson, who's Premier League experience. He's already proven he can do it in the Premier League. Just needs to improve. Just needs to, you could say, uh, practice and learn to try to put away the majority of chances that come his way. Or maybe, let me just simplify it, be efficient in front of goal consistently, which was the only thing he didn't do at the time. He's capable of making intelligent runs in behind the opposition line. Sometimes he almost always needs to get a first touch before he shoots, which at the time I said he'd be better of trying to shoot instinctively and not almost always needing to get a first touch. But he looked calmer. He's looked calmer on the ball before he went on loan to Bayern. It's just that on that day he was unlucky. He hit the woodwork. But that's, by the way,
no,
if he stays over Emera, I will not complain, and vice versa, I will not complain. Emera is quicker. Emera is good on the ball. And from what I know, better finisher. But I get it. The Premier League will present a different test for Emmanuel Emera. Go ahead, Bobby.
yeah. I mean, I have to. If what you're saying about Omega, I have to go with that. You know, it doesn't really matter if he stays or Jackson stays, but I don't know if he would create as much as Jackson. You know, I was listening to a YouTuber, uh, um, one of these African guys that come out and they make all these commentaries about Chelsea, and
Mm-hmm.
he said I listened to this guy a lot. He's very interesting. And he said, look, the biggest injustice we did, or whoever did, was to tell Jackson he's a striker. He's not. Jackson is a number 10. He can go on the left, he can go on the right. The biggest thing, the biggest injustice we gave to Jackson was not making him a left winger who could drift inside. And I think if Jackson stays and takes up that mantle and is quite happy to come off the bench sometimes, wow, we're going to be flying because that guy makes things happen. He really makes things happen. He makes the forward line play so much better with his movement, his passing. And the fact that he doesn't finish is a travesty because if Jackson adds finishing to his game, wow, he's going to be right up there. But let's see what happens. I would if Omega is staying, I'm greedy. I would I would shift him out on the left and get Gittins on loan or something because I think he's that important.
Yeah, and I think the fact that we haven't heard, we first of all we did hear that he's staying, but Nicolas Jackson and Delap were both could maybe I can't quite remember how that particular report was phrased, but could both leave, and he
The
scored
lap
two
is
goals in
definitely leaving.
two preseason games, and nothing said certainly he's leaving. I think he stays. I hope he stays fit, and the way the whole thing that happened to him that kept him out of the Dutch national team World Cup squad, the way it happened for me, I'd say most likely a phase because of how tall he is and how he's growing. And he's more importantly, I haven't mentioned, he's actually much better aerially than Nicholas Jackson. Emera is excellent aerially. But let's see what happens. And in all honesty, if I'd have to pick, I'll pick Jackson because Jackson has Premier League experience. But Jackson, as an established international, wouldn't want to play second fiddle to anybody. That makes it difficult. And I think he's just calm because you can argue there aren't too many, or maybe not a lot of known suitors for his signature at this point, except what's his name? Except for Aston Villa. We've heard clubs. I think I can't quite remember who mentioned Tottenham, but I'm not sure how serious that is. But we'll wait and see. I think whatever happens, the manager will make the best decision. I think if he prefers Nicholas Jackson, then Jackson will stay. Coach, in my opinion, I don't think we need Myles Lewis-Skelly at Chelsea. We have Valentin Barco, who plays in the same position at him. Better vision, actually, in my opinion. But did they the same position? Okay, I'm just gonna move on anyway. I didn't say that. It was Bobby that said that. Good day to you too, Kingsley Melody. Nice to see you. Good names, first and last. Good first and last name there. Big up to you too, Walter Moregbe. Always nice to see you, my bro. I do hope you're doing well. Vinnie Jones, Gaspoyet, and Potrescu played alongside Dennis Wise, Bobby. All right, thank you for that information there. Appreciate you.
Not quite. The reason, sorry, coach. The reason I brought up Bobby because I was remembering when it was Dennis Wise and Deschamps as our midfield. Now, one was 5'6" and the other one was 5'8". So they were both little guys. They were our two central midfielders for a couple of years.
Yeah,
But
but
they had overall, there were
Gospel was
other
very much
big players in other positions, right? Go ahead, Bobby. Sorry.
Gus Poyet was very much in that. And even though Mark Hughes was a 10, he would often drop into the middle. And also, we had people like Robbie Di Matteo and all that. There was a healthy mix, although I take on board there were many times where Deschamps was there alone with Wise, but Deschamps was a different animal altogether. Another very underestimated midfielder. Go ask Zinedine Zidane what he thought about Deschamps. You know,
Oh no,
Deschamps
I love them.
was
But that's why I said I've watched Barco play a lot, and he reminds me of those guys because he plays with that a bit nastiness. He plays with that,
Tenacity. Yeah.
doesn't pull out of a
if he's
tackle.
anything close to Deschamps, then he's got to be some player.
I think yeah, he's not perfect, but I think he's a good player. Big up Uzoma Jesus Sudalo. Always nice to see you. Appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. It's been a minute, and hopefully your absence simply means, yeah, that you've been busy with work. And if that's the case, we're happy for you. We understand bills don't pay themselves. Says it was Zenden who later joined Liverpool from Chelsea. Wow. You should be joining the panel. I don't even know that, really.
Yeah, Zenden was small too. He was tiny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I want us to keep Neto Jackson very vital to the team. Let's see what happens. That's Basi Michaels. Thank you for joining the conversation. Are
It's
you
not Bolo
actually
Zenden I
from
was thinking
India?
of.
Sorry.
It wasn't Bolo Zenden I was thinking of. And Zenden was a winger, not a midfielder.
Okay. All right. More pictures here. Enzo Fernandez, Reece James, Morgan Rogers, and Valentin Barco. I think we've seen that particular picture. Enzo Fernandez at the gym. Enzo Fernandez on IG. Which one is this? Chelsea have long-term interest in Myles Lewis-Skelly and have made another check on his availability following Arsenal's signing of Bruno Guimarães. All right, Chelsea have been offered the chance to sign Myles Lewis-Skelly, difficult to say, by an intermediary, which could hand Arsenal a dilemma about whether to cash in on a homegrown talent. They might have no option because he would want to be playing. A move to Chelsea cannot be discounted as Arsenal want to recoup money in the transfer market. Arsenal have been led to believe that Chelsea are interested in signing him. That's according to Gary Jacob. All right, anything else here? Chelsea want in excess of £50 million for Liam Delap. And then he says, note the article had changed since morning. Okay. It never mentioned 50 million. Now it does. Okay. So updated the information there. All right. Nothing else here. This says Chelsea have received 0 bids for Enzo Fernández in the transfer window so far. The focus is now on the season ahead and fixing and locking in the squad with which Xabi Alonso will be working. It looks like he's going to stay. And I'd suggest he's probably prepared to stay right now. All right, but that's by the way. Let's move on. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Meezy, big up to you too. Appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. At the office listening, thank you for listening. We appreciate you. All right, we go back to the presentation window. Let's see anything new. We've talked about this kid to Portsmouth. Ryan Kavuma McQueen. I don't know him. Really, I don't know him. I've already seen him on the bench. And even when he got a chance to play, I didn't pay attention. So, Dante, you haven't spoken about Myles Lewis-Skelly.
Yeah,
Skelly,
McQueen.
Lewis-Skelly. His name is difficult to pronounce.
McQueen, he's probably our best winger at the youth level, so it's good to see him going on.
Okay, that's McQueen, right? You're talking about McQueen now.
Yeah, McQueen. Yeah, so he's
Okay.
yeah, he'll do pretty well. That's a good move for him. That's a proper senior football there. He'll do very well there, I think. So that's a good move. Yeah, Skelly. Look, he's when the big games came along, he was always playing. He's he didn't start every single game. But then, when the games that counted, he played every single game, Skelly. So obviously he's probably he's been bumped down a little bit now because of the new signing. So look, it's interesting, but I don't see him leaving. To be honest, I don't see Arteta letting that guy go. He was too important.
But if he wants to leave,
yeah, maybe, but they'll find a way. Arteta will find a way, and they will promise him things probably, and they will find a way. So I don't see them leaving a talent like that. Like I said, in all the biggest games, Champions League, even all the big games during the season, he played and did very well. Like even the final. Let's not forget, he did a very good job there as well. So he does the defensive side extremely well, and that's why he's very important to Arsenal. I don't see them letting him go. I could see them leaving someone else go, maybe like a Zubimendi or someone ahead of actual Skelly. It would be pretty foolish to leave a guy that you trust in all the big games and you're going to let him go, I don't think Arteta will let him go. Like I said, there's probably a couple of others that would probably leave ahead of him. So, yeah, I don't see it happening. I think it's just a bit of news again. Who knows? Contract stuff. Who knows? There could be a lot of other stuff happening. But, yeah, if he really wants to go, it's just a report that's come out of nowhere and saying that he's been offered. Well, he's been offered. Well, that doesn't mean that we're looking at him or we wanted him. So it's not too much for me in that report, to be honest, at the moment. As things stand, it's just a bit of nothing, to be honest, at all. So I don't see him leaving. Like I said, he's way too important in Arteta and all the big games when he wants to have shut someone down and put a defensive. He's played in all the biggest games. So, yeah, I find it difficult. Such a young player as well, versatile, because he can play left back, he can play defensive mid, central mid. He can play in multiple positions. So I don't see them leaving a talent like that go. And don't be surprised, you'll see that he gets a bumper pay rise. Oh, I think you're muted, coach. It's just me. Bobby, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Oh,
here.
so he's muted. You're muted, coach.
I don't think Lewis-Skelly is happy at Arsenal. I think he doesn't want to be a squad player. He's been there since he was a kid. He's been propping up the squad for a couple of seasons now. And
He's not really a squad
when,
player, Bobby. He plays a lot. Like I
well,
said,
I think he's a player like that. When you find that people, the press use the language like he's being offered, that is coming from his agents. And he's
yeah.
looking for a club that will make him more of a significant player, which he
But he
can't
doesn't
be
start
at
at
Arsenal.
Chelsea. He won't start at Chelsea. If Enzo is here and Caicedo, he's not starting at Chelsea either.
Well, the word was
So
he
it
was
wouldn't
being
be the
offered.
move. The move wouldn't make sense for him.
No, because we could not promise him a starting position. You're not going to
No,
promise.
we will not. No.
No. So, I mean, that's why I don't really believe it, to be honest. And like I said, don't be surprised you see him get a pay rise or something and they'll figure something out. Like Bobby said, the wording, very agent pushed, in my opinion. So, usually when that happens, it's about money.
All right, just quickly here. This is a breaking news. Enzo Maresca would love to reunite with Enzo Fernández at Manchester City since the start of the window. This was the case even before Rodri talks with Barca. Deal depends on price. Chelsea insist on £120 million fee. CFC would be happy to welcome Enzo back and keep him. I don't think we'll budge on that price. Probably we've already made up our mind we don't want to sell him. And I don't see City paying £120 million, which means he stays. And that's just my opinion. Because since the start of the window, nothing says we're eager to sell him. We've always said, look, we don't want to kill him. We don't want to sell him. Sorry, he's very much we're still part of the project, and we are planning to go into the season with him. But if you want to take him, this is how much we want. And I think the fact that we're not really, I don't know, there's nothing suggests we're really pushing to sign another midfielder. I think he's going to stay. And that's my opinion. But Dante, let's hear you.
Yeah.
Everything here, mainly from the perspective of Manchester City and Enzo Maresca. Nothing says, okay, you know what? We want to move him on. Just pay this amount. We're just saying we're not desperate to sell him. We want to keep him. But let's hear you.
Yeah. Look, Man City can probably afford him if they really want to, especially after they sell Rodri. They probably can afford him. So,
But
yeah,
they haven't sold him.
they will though. They will. Pretty soon.
Even though Enzo Maresca, he was saying a few days ago he expects him to join the camp. They're training in a few days.
Yeah, but that's
with,
just politics.
Go ahead.
Yeah, of course he's gonna. We'll see what happens. But that move is probably going to happen. To be honest, that's the players come out, the opposites clubs already sort of talked about it, so I think that will happen. I think this if
You
that's
think
this
he
will
will end
drag
up
out to
at
the end of the
City?
yeah, this will drag out to the end of the transfer window. Let's not forget they've got a couple of interesting other couple of our players, Gusto and Neto as well. So there is a bit of other interest there. They've got a couple of players to sell. So Savinho, once that one goes, well, that will probably mean they'll have they can spend equivalent or even a little bit more as usually is. So once Rodri goes, well, then they'll be able to spend as well again. So and let's not forget how Maresca uses Enzo. Maresca uses Enzo as an attacker more than anything, more as a
Well, more
10.
of a hybrid of 8 and 6.
More of a 10, to be honest.
You
Let's not
could
forget
argue, yeah,
he
more
was
of a
a
10, but
starting number
he
10.
still comes deep on occasions
Sometimes.
to take the ball.
Sometimes, yeah, he does. But he started in our 4-2-3-1 as the number 10. So probably, and that's one of the reasons why he had better numbers as well. He crashes the box, comes in a bit late,
Mhm.
but he also started quite high up the pitch in that number 10 position quite a lot. So, well, the other player that left, the number 10 left as well. What's his name? I just started the transfer window. What's his name? Is it Silva? I can't remember which one. Bernardo Silva? Yeah, I
Bernardo,
think. Yeah, he
the
left as well.
Portuguese.
Correct. So that was their playmaker, that number 10 that glued everything together. He's gone. He's gone as well. Marmoush, he came in, but he didn't really take that role very well. He got benched for quite the second part of the season. So there is room for Enzo there, definitely, especially after, like I said, it could happen. I just don't see, the only thing I don't see from Enzo's side, why would you probably go to Man City now that, we've signed these players, we've got this manager in? If he really has Real Madrid for the future in his mind, well, are you going to go a bit sideways at the moment? I don't know if he'll do that. Yeah, they'll offer him more salary, probably 300k, but if you go to Real Madrid, you're not getting 300k. You're getting like probably 500k and so much stuff off the field as well. So, yeah, look, I don't see it happening, but I don't rule it out either because one, Maresca, to the players they're selling, and there is a need of that 8/10 because Bernardo Silva left. I think if Maresca wasn't there, I'll probably completely deny it. But because Maresca's there, I can see him that he would probably have Enzo number 1 penned in that position if he was able to get him.
We'll see. Listen, as they have concrete interest, but it's going to be a very difficult one. Because
Yeah,
if
it
they
is
leave
that.
it late, we're not going to sell him anymore. He just has to. He just has to stay. At certain point, I think probably at some point we will make it clear. If you want him, now is the time so we can use the money
We
and
will,
get a
yeah, yeah,
replacement.
yeah.
But
We
we will
will.
let them know. But right now, we're not too eager to sell him. We're just waiting. But at some point, we'll let them know. Yeah, if you want him, do it now. Or at this point, that's it. We're not selling him. And I
Yeah,
think
there'll be
even
a cutoff date because,
yeah,
of course,
because
yeah,
we don't want to risk losing him without bringing in a capable replacement. But
correct. Yes.
everything we've heard from the perspective of Enzo Maresca and Manchester City. Nothing suggests that the player is bent on going to them. If that's the case, I think he'd make it clear to the club. But also, it's important to know that they haven't made any contact with Chelsea.
I think, Coach, Enzo and his agent would have learned quite a bit, not to say absolutely nothing anymore at all, zero. And
Mhm.
Maresca's got Enzo's personal number, so it's very easy for them to
So
talk. It's
maybe
not.
he's encouraged it to some extent.
It's very, very possible. I'm 110% they would have talked already. They probably talked, but that's it.
No, I mean definitely. I don't question that. These things happen. I don't think they'd be again. I'd be more certain that he encouraged it if they make contact with Chelsea.
Yeah, correct. It has to go, obviously, but I'm just saying, because they know each other well, obviously, so they have personal details. They know each other very well. So Yeah, that happens all the time. But yeah, that's a good point. There will definitely be a cutoff date because obviously, replacement. And that's where that Alex Scott bid comes in. That's kind of, Alex. Apparently, that bid we put in for Alex Scott. Because to me, what that told me is that he's going basically because I don't see any point Alex Scott coming in with Enzo still here. There's just no point because you're not going to have that many players, especially with no Europe, etc. And yes, I do count Barca and all the other ones because a lot of people don't seem to count some of those other players. So yeah, it's too many midfielders. So and you're not going to sign Alex Scott for 75 million pounds or whatever it is, 90 million pounds to be a rotational player. So that's the only thing with that, kind of put me off. If that's true, that bid, well, then that said a lot. But yeah, that's not confirmed if that was 100% true, that bid or not.
All right, before I go to Bobby, let's see. Big up to you too, Vic. Always nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. Lewis-Skelly got Arteta through the last 10 games of the season. No smoke without fire. He might be unhappy, but he won't leave. You can't force him to stay either, otherwise he'd become unhappy. His mom is his agent. She's trying to scare Arteta. That possibly. Fabrizio, coach, what did he say about Enzo Fernandez? I'm guessing. Welcome, Nemaya. Always nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Anything else here from Vic? Okay. Dante Mamouche was never going to start ahead of Haaland up front. Pep played him in various positions, including 10 left wing. Okay, we understand that. As reviewed, there was already contact behind the scenes back in May. Wow, a lot of betrayal everywhere. Back in May, Enzo would love to have Enzo at Man City, and the deal would not be held. Well, the latter part of that particular comment, I'm not sure what it means. Who will? I'm not sure what that report and from who. Will not be okay. Will not be held up by personal terms. Okay, yeah. Because, yeah, they probably pay him a lot more than he's currently earning at Chelsea. And we will have to wait and see whether it becomes concrete before deadline day. Man City FC, is that coming from a Man City source? One thing I'm going to say, if they waste time at some point, Chelsea will not sell. Just in, Enzo Fernandez's future will be decided in the next days. Maresca wants him a City. This is not just a filler, it's now concrete. I wouldn't call it concrete. It's maybe they have concrete interest, but I'd call it concrete when, yeah, they hit up Chelsea and the two clubs start talking. And that's just my opinion anyway. But we'll see. Maybe he ends up joining them, but they better be quick and they better pay up. If they don't pay up, he's not joining them. Bobby, let's hear you if you have anything to add to that.
Yeah, and that's because, like I said, Rodri needs to be sold because you have to show that balancing of books, players sold in, sold, others coming in. They can't do it without selling Savinho and Rodri. Otherwise, they can't do it. Yeah.
And I see us taking the money if they pay up because the player clearly wants to leave.
Yep, exactly.
All right, Bobby, let's hear you if you're still there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one to add much to that. The only thing I'll have to say is I think Maresca will be very careful how he approaches this. He's already had to pay a penalty to Chelsea. I don't think he'll be looking for another one or worse. So he better keep well away from Enzo on the phone for sure. I don't know. I don't know. I just have a feeling that if nothing happens by the beginning of next week, he will stay because the club will just say, look, you're not going anywhere. We have to prepare for the season now. And we're not going to have that instability before the start of the season. That's just my hunch. But as I keep saying, in football, you never say never.
And that domino effect could happen. Once if Rodri goes, that's it. Yeah, and it makes sense. And I think Dante did break it down very well. Them having Elliot Anderson not a factor because of the way Enzo Maresca utilized Enzo Fernandez. So there's space for him. Yeah. But let's see. Yeah, you told us he'd leave Dan Stein. Bluco won't force him to stay. No club will force any player to stay. We've always known if he's bent on leaving, he will eventually leave. But if we're going by what we know at the time, you say he's more likely to stay than leave. But let's
basically he's putting an end to the Real Madrid move if he does go to Man City for the next 3-4 years probably. So he's kind of he's shutting that down, the Real Madrid move down for at least the next 3 or 4 years, because there's no way he's going to Man City without a 6-year probably contract. So that's the other thing he has to think of as well. Does he stay at Chelsea and put his head down, work, do what he wants? Like Bobby said, if he wins, then he can just stay. It doesn't matter. But if he really wants that Real Madrid move, well, you go into Man City. That's the end of the Real Madrid move for quite a long time. And probably never.
Because he's going to be on such a long contract. And if he ever wants out, it will cost the buying club.
Yeah, and Man City are not fools. The contract will have clauses in it. He probably will have to stay for at least 4 years minimum, probably. So they're not going to invest that money for him coming for 1 or 2 years. That's not going to happen at Man City. They're not going to do that. So
they won't. They're not stupid, and they're well aware of his. You could say his desire to play for Real Madrid.
They do throw money around, but not like that. That's different. So yeah, that's not going to happen. So Enzo's, got to make a decision as well. If he goes to Man City, that's pretty much bye-bye Real Madrid. And we know in football, a year is a long time in football, but 4 years, that's a very, very long time. He'll never join Real Madrid ever after that.
Because he will be very difficult. It will be later in his career by the time he runs down his contract. So you're pretty much saying it's not as straightforward as a lot of people think.
Well, no, it's not straightforward because he had his heart set on Madrid, and we know Argentinian players, Spanish players, that's their dream club, Real Madrid or Barcelona. It's the culture there. 80% of that country, either Real Madrid or Barcelona, on top of the Argentinian clubs. So, that's the market there. That's how it is, and that's the dream for all these guys. If they reach that, that's number one. So there's no way Enzo's picking Man City over Madrid, in my opinion. I don't see that ever happening. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, if he does go to Man City,
we'll wait and see. Money also changes everything.
It does, but like I said, Man City spend money as in buying a player, but that doesn't go to the player. But their salaries, okay, they're not going to give Enzo 500k. They're not going to do that. And
they won't even
the
come
money
close
off the field and image rights and stuff like that in Madrid, Barcelona. If you look at some of their contracts, I remember when we were looking at contracts at most of their players, even the Alba, I remember the left back, he was on like 700k a week after all the stuff off field, and Busquets was like 800 grand a week. You make serious
and there could be a lot of dominoes happening. Arsenal papers is reporting that Arsenal have accepted a 45 million pounds bid for Gabriel Martinelli. I think from a Turkish club maybe, but I can't see the whole report. It just popped up as which means they could come for Pedro Neto. But go ahead, what you were saying.
I don't know about that one, but yeah, I'm just saying, so Man City will pay a lot of money for a player, but they're not going to really give that big of a salary. They'll give 300k, for example, probably 350 max to Enzo. Like I said, going to Madrid or Barcelona, it's a very different kettle of fish, money-wise, salary-wise, that the player actually gets, not the clubs that get it. So yeah, look, and that's why that's the attraction there as well. Obviously, the money and the money off the field, not just salary as well. There's a lot of other.
I mean, if money is his priority, he would join City without even thinking twice. But if he still would want to play for Madrid, and what you've explained for me, a factor that he definitely needs to consider. But yeah, that's by the way. Let's see. Big up to you too. If anybody wants to, Enzo, for the affordable price of 120 million pounds. If not, Enzo has a contract and it needs to be professional. He will. Chelsea should move on from Enzo because he is becoming a snitch to us. I'm not sure how to read that. Everything comes down to what the manager wants. I don't want to read too much into it, or maybe believe everything I see out there, because they tried to renegotiate a pay rise. It didn't work out, and he lost his SHIT and misbehaved, in my opinion. Chelsea offering 65 million for Alex Scott was the smoke screen for me. And Alex Scott, I don't know. I don't want to start arguing he's more suitable to the way Alonso wants to play or not. Big up to you too, Jojo. If anyone wants Enzo, they can have him. I think I think we've read something similar from you. Vic here saying, but Madrid already dragged him and his agent with that official communication. Enzo needs to sign a new deal to remain at Chelsea, which could still happen. Which it's still a possibility, but it's difficult. I'm going to go from 80 to 20 to 50-50 right now. The fact that Man City, Enzo Maresca wants him a City, and the fact that we wouldn't be hearing anything about him joining City if it's not encouraging it. It's really that simple, in my opinion. But let's see, he can still leave for City. He can still leave for Madrid in 2-3 years, but it's not going to be as simple. That's exactly the point we're trying to make. That's enough time for Camavinga and Valverde to fade, but those are players of the foreign profiles. Yeah, if I'm wrong, then to correct me. I think Rodri to Barca is done. It could still happen. Nemanja, well, I mean, he's leaving. I don't think he probably. It looks like he's done at City. He's won everything: the Premier League, the Champions League, Club World Cup. No, not Club World Cup, the Super Cup, right? A lot of trophies at City. So why stay? But that's why we have Hakim in the house. Hakim, anything
He
you
did
want to
win
add?
the Club World Cup with them, the old format.
The old format? Okay. Yeah, thank you for that. But let's say you, Hakim, where do you want to come in? Enzo Fernández, that's where we are. Enzo Maresca, we're hearing wants him at Man City. You have anything to add to that, Hakim? Is he there? Maybe he's still setting up the studio. So we're going to move on, and then wherever he meets us, he joins from there. So Lewis-Skelly to Chelsea, I don't know. But Bobby says he's not happy, and that's a chance. That's the case, because he wants to be playing. And they've signed Guimarães. What are they going to do with him? Greetings from Kenya. Honestly, Kachila are still light. Kachila, we are still lightweight at the middle. Skelly wouldn't be a bad addition. Plus Alex Scott. We signing both? Honestly, Kevin Morella, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but we'll see.
Too much.
Do you think Enzo's move is triggered by English media? No. Robin, Kikbamoy, together with the fans' reaction due to his celebration during the World Cup semis against England, I think you're overthinking it a little bit, in my opinion. There's still something, the saying, there's no smoke without fire. There's something. I think maybe if we're able to convince him to sign a new contract with a pay rise, he could stay. But there's a chance he joins City, because I don't think we'll be hearing that if he hadn't encouraged them to try their luck. It's really that simple. I don't see a world where that happens. But let's see. And maybe we've actually decided if it happens, we're good. If it happens, we'll move on from him and sign another player. But I'm going to say this once again. It needs to happen as soon as possible. At some point, Chelsea will say, we're not doing this now. Or if we're not certain we'll get that good replacement for him, we might even say, yeah, we're not selling.
Yeah, but coach, the only thing I'll say to that, how many deals have you seen happen in the last 48 hours of the transfer window, like big deals.
Yeah.
So many over the years. So I know that's, but like you say, if we're willing to sell him, I think if it's now or in 2 weeks' time, it doesn't matter, to be honest. If that money is put up, and especially how we want it on our terms, probably a lot upfront, etc. I don't see it because there's too many deals that get done these days. It doesn't really matter anymore, to be honest.
But it depends. But we still wouldn't want to, you could say, be doing anything in a rush.
No, but especially a big deal like that, like, big money, big move. He's not gone. It doesn't matter. So, and I think
I think that's probably the mindset at Chelsea now.
Yeah, and we have the money if we want to. We have the money to buy Scott anyway. On top, even with Enzo there, if we really want to.
Would you rather Scott or Wharton?
I wouldn't either of them, to be honest. But I'm just
Who would
just
you
an
rather?
example. I'm saying we can still sign a player because we do have the money to do that. It's not gonna mean that we're putting another player off or whatever. No, we can still sign another player if we really want to. So yeah.
So who would you rather?
No, like I keep going. We need a proper DM, a proper profile DM, not none of these hybrids. I need a proper DM. I think that's what worked best in Alonso football, Leverkusen, etc. He had a proper DM there. So now we did sign Henderson, who is very close to that, pretty much that type of style. So it just depends how much he's going to play. But yeah, I would prefer
I
a
hope,
proper DM, a
but I
special
hope you guys
specialist.
have not also forgotten about Baku, right?
Yeah, we know, but Barkley isn't the same with Enzo Fernández. I think they differ.
I don't think so because Baku is also more like kind of hybrid. Also, I don't think
He's a hybrid
Baku
as
is
well,
like
yeah.
a. He's also like a hybrid. So I think they can use him in the position. But the issue with Enzo Fernandez is that these people are business people. They are not going to let the other team knows that listen, we want to offload him. When you let the other team knows that you want to offload him, then you're putting yourself in a disadvantaged position when it comes to negotiation. So what they are saying is that they want him back. Like I said, business
Hakim,
people.
can you handle the background noise, please, and come back?
Okay.
Yeah, run
Yeah,
away from the
please.
police, quick.
I
Hi.
think that's an ambulance anyway.
Oh, ambulance?
Um,
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, I think
Alonso.
it's done now.
All right, go ahead.
So what I'm saying is that they don't want to put themselves in a disadvantaged position. So they are going to let the other, like the people who want him, to think that listen, we want him. Like he's still in Alonso's plans, but no team wants a player who doesn't want to stay. Like we've seen what happened to Lukaku. If you all remember what happened to Lukaku, when Lukaku went and did some kind of, even Lukaku wanted to stay because no team could afford Lukaku at that time, and no team wanted Lukaku. But for Enzo Fernandez, he knows like he's a hot cake, especially the performance that he performed at the World Cup. So he's also trying to push his way out. And Chelsea, as business people, also make the other team think that he's in our plans. We want to use him. So if you want to buy him, you have to pay us this amount. So I think it's just like a game that they are playing. But I think they would like to. They've had enough of him, the racism issue, and also this interview issue. I think they would like to sell him. They are done with Enzo, but they can also keep him because he's a good player. They would love to use him. Like if no one is going to buy him with the price that they want, they are going to use him.
All right, we'll see what happens. What's the lane? I think we've been told that we'll get an official announcement today. And Alonso needs a ball retention in a moderator midfielder Example, Zubimendi or Ruiz. I see a surprise midfield signing from La Liga. It's a possibility, or even in the
Ruiz is
Premier
good,
League,
yeah.
really. Yeah, it could happen
Ruiz I
in the
like.
Premier League.
He's not
Sorry?
bad. Ruiz I do like because he's got a bit of everything, and well, he was basically the midfield guy for that Spanish team. Running that midfield as well next to
Mhm.
Rodri there. So he can do that role pretty well. Yeah, he's a good one, but he is 30 years old, so he'll be more of an experienced signing. But he's done it for PSG. He's done it for Spain. He's a very good player. Technical and physical. Yeah.
I've seen rumors suggesting we're actually looking to sign him. Do you believe that?
I saw that too. Yeah. Maybe I don't know. It's not from Fab or Ornstein, so yeah, it's just a bit of a rumor at the moment. But he would be one that probably would suit very well. We've seen it recently. He's a world champion. He did it with Spain, and he's done it with PSG as well. He's basically keeping out all that. What's his name? Not is it Gavi? What's the one? Uh, the Barcelona midfielder from the Spanish side. Not Gavi. The other one.
Which one?
Pedri.
Pedri. He kept Pedri out of the Spanish side, and that takes a lot to do that. So, yeah, look, he's a guy that glues everything together in that midfield very well for them. So he would actually suit pretty well Alonso football. Yeah.
All right. A big up to you too. Thank you. He called me couch yesterday. But Tawan, thank you. Big up everyone. Enzo Maresca has indicated that his top target is Enzo Fernandez from midfield, and the Italian manager is pushing to have him. Rodri to Barcelona is advanced. Okay, here's the thing. He's making a mistake. Let me explain why I said he's making a mistake. For saying his top target is a certain player, just are going to say, okay.
I don't think he would say that. I find that difficult. Maresca has never said a player ever. Even when he was with us, remember,
he
every
did
time he
say
got asked,
at Chelsea that his top target was a centre back.
yeah, no, but remember, every time he was asked about a player from a different team, or he would say, I don't comment about other players from other teams. He's never, ever, ever said. So I find that hard to believe that he actually said that.
So
somewhere.
why would Fabrizio be saying this? Because even with this from Fabrizio on Instagram, he's creating a problem for them, because we're going to say, okay, he's very, very critical to them. Rodri is leaving. You want a replacement for him? Pay up. I'd move the goalposts if I were in charge. If I wanted 120, I'd start from 160.
But coach, you could also understand that those comments could also come from Enzo's camp. They could tell, like, his management team also like that.
Yeah,
even if that comes from his camp, they're making a huge mistake too. You don't do this. In my opinion, I've followed football long enough to know that once you make it clear you want a particular player, not even rumors, because this clearly from Fabrizio Romano saying that he's made it, that sounds like something he would say, given the way he said publicly that his top priority would be to sign a CB at the time, which I didn't like, because that makes it difficult for the club that wants to sign a player. I'd move the goalpost from 120 and say 150. That's just my opinion. Yeah.
Coach, it's a tactic, because I can tell you, it comes from his camp, but maybe Enzo also wants to go to Real Madrid. Enzo might also like to go to PSG or other teams. So when it happens like that, then they're going to see which team. Because if I want Enzo and maybe I want to weigh down for Eric to see, like, like maybe to check on other teams, and I see, okay, Manchester City are moving like really fast, then I'm going to come. So, it's more like killing two birds with one stone.
I'm
So
just saying, but
it
at the
is like
same
a
time,
business tactic.
yeah,
But what you're also
making...
saying is also like, it's a thing. It's some things that happens. It's not only in football, in business, you understand?
Yeah.
It's something that
I just
happens.
see Maresca too professional to do that. especially after what happened. And he's not going to come out and say direct quote, "I'm Enzo Fernandez is my top target." He's not going to say that. I just
Because
don't
even the
see.
club could say, "What are you doing? You're tapping up our player, right?"
Yeah, he's not allowed to. You can't name other players.
So
That
why
doesn't
is
happen.
Fabrizio saying this? Except if this is coming from a fake account.
Exactly. Well, Vic,
Vic, can you cross-check? Because there's Fabrizio Romano. Check if that's maybe I get it. You copied this. Maybe you typed
exactly.
it out.
So we
I
don't know
don't
if it's
know
real or
because
not.
there is Fabrizio Romano and not Fabrizio Romano because this is too specific for me. I'm not a lawyer, but Chelsea could look at this and say, especially after the problem with the club, right?
And knowing Enzo Maresca, like I said, watched him the whole year and a half. Uh, he's never ever mentioned a player's name, and we had like 30 people trying to sign so many players, etc. So no, he would never do that. There's no way he would do that.
Okay,
I
let's see
don't
what
see it
happens.
happening.
Drew is saying he's cross-checked. Even Pies, PYS has tweeted that. I think it's Pies because the P capitalized YS in small letters.
Yeah, but it could be an opinion
Listen.
as well, coach. It could be an opinion, not a direct quote.
I hope so, but even with this for me is enough for Chelsea to say, you know what, we want 150.
Yeah, or the money up
Sorry.
front, different. Like I said, yeah.
Yeah, or we want the money upfront, pay up, because this for me creates a problem for them. Whether it was sponsored by Enzo Fernandez's camp or Man City, yeah. And if Rodri goes, we know you're desperate, and this screams desperation.
He's not
I'm
a
not sure
Rodri
how
replacement. Yeah.
Yeah, this screams desperation. So probably we should move it if we were asking for 120, and there's nothing suggests we definitely said we want 120. We've been there before.
That's minimum.
Because
That's minimum.
Sorry?
Coach. That's minimum 120.
Maybe minimum, yeah, because we heard before that we were asking for 35 million pounds for Gusto, and then we heard now it's 75 million pounds, right? So change it up. That's too low. He's a World Cup winner. He's an excellent midfielder, good vision, good passing range, gets you goals, and very, 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 very pivotal or critical to the way Enzo Maresca likes to play. Yeah, we own your season now. Pay up. It's simple. I think the same way we understand how important Malo Gusto was for him at Chelsea maybe was the reason why, even if we at first said, 35 million pounds, we realized, no, Gusto was one of his most important players at Chelsea. Take it up to 75. So let's take the price up. They're losing Rodri, and we can. Honestly, I wish I were one of the decision makers. 200, we start talking. World Cup winner, current club World Cup holder, you name them. Go ahead, Bobby.
I think we need to be careful here. Remember, this is the transfer window. There's a lot of noise and agents, staff, and content creators, stuff, and emotions, and what
Yeah.
they wish to happen, what they don't wish to happen.
It's like
People like
contract
Cy,
negotiations.
yeah, people
Basically.
like Cy Phillips are very much like that. He's very emotional. If
Oh
he
yeah.
wants a Chelsea player to go, he will come out with all sorts to try and hit the drum for them to go. I would hold your horses a bit on all this. Enzo's saying this, Enzo's saying that. I don't think Enzo Maresca is that much of a fool to be letting his desires and wishes out to the media, and I just don't buy it. Let's see what happens. That's all I say. It's likely they will want him. Yes. You say there's a place he can play. Yes. But one, will he want to go there vis-a-vis a dead-end stop to the Holy Grail of Real Madrid? Would he have given up on Real Madrid after the way they snubbed him? Or indeed, would he have, as Messi said, just want to stay at Chelsea and succeed at Chelsea. You're not at the worst club in the world. You're at one of the best clubs in the world who went through a rocky patch. You've walked the journey for the past how many years? 2, 3 years now with Chelsea. You are very much a part of the fabric. So it's a huge collective decision from him, the club, and Alonso. Alonso might want him, and if Alonso wants him, who the hell is Maresca? You know, so to speak. I don't know. I'm just I'll keep my powder dry on this one and wait and see what happens. I think next week is very important. It's not the end of the transfer window, but it's the build up to the first game of the season. And for a club like Chelsea, that this season means so much, it's huge in terms of settling the squad. They're not going to want to do big deals of a player exit to that capacity unless they've got someone waiting in the wings to come in. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, but if in fact it's gonna happen, we own their season now. They won three of our players actually. Jesus, correct me if I'm wrong. Rumors suggest they won Pedro
A lot
Neto.
of that is content creators and agent stuff. You know,
Possibly.
everybody, you know, 1 minute there's, oh,
Mhm.
Arsenal wants this, Chelsea wants this. Look at the Lewis-Skelly stories, Zubimendi. There's a lot of all that going around right now.
Oh, the silly season, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
All
sadly.
but
right.
there's a lot going on. But most
Mhm.
of it is also true because some of the rumors that we heard about Chelsea wanting some players, all those players that we heard from these same people, they came to Chelsea, like Rogers and the
Oh, I
midfielder
wouldn't
Xhaka
call
and all of them.
Rogers if I were you. I would say Lacroix, but Rogers took everybody by surprise.
Yeah, that was
That
So
was
No,
don't
no,
go
nobody
no.
there
But
with
knew
that
that
but
was
one.
but but, but what I'm trying to say is that like the same rumors that we were hearing from these same people, some of them came true. So we can't like overshadow it and be like, oh, it's just rumors.
No, we can't.
There
We
could be
can't
some
just
truth.
brush all of them aside. There are. You can say
No,
you can analyze
some
it and see that there is some truth.
look,
Yeah.
some of them
Yeah.
will be true, of course. A lot of them will not be true, and at this point, you see, as the transfer window comes to an end, there becomes a lot of desperation, and all the emotions involved. People that really want certain players to be sold here, they push it and push it and push it. Funny you should mention Morgan Rogers. Right from before the transfer window even opened, we were hearing Morgan Rogers this, Morgan Rogers
To
that. He's
Arsenal.
agreed to Arsenal. He loves Arsenal. This, that, this, that, this, that. Bang. Chelsea have dropped 117 million for Morgan Rogers. Bang. He's at Stamford Bridge. Bang. He's signing. So that after that, I was like, look, I'm not getting into it. And it happens. Look at Rodri. Rodri, Real Madrid, 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 Madrid. Bang.
No,
Where's he
no, no.
going?
For Rodri, all of these things, like Arsenal wanted Morgan Rogers. Like, there's no doubt about it. But it's the fault is from them because he also wanted to go to Arsenal, but they waited and
No,
he
I don't
didn't do
believe
it.
he
So,
ever wanted to go to Arsenal.
I
We
don't believe he
learned,
did
according
either.
to David Onston, he's always wanted Chelsea over
Yeah.
Arsenal.
no, 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 coach,
Chelsea
no,
were
no, no, no,
That
no,
talking
no.
to
I'm
him
not making
long
these up.
before
Coach,
That
Arsenal.
was what Austin said. I'm
coach.
not making this up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's not
Chelsea
only
were
Austin.
talking
We
to
also
him
heard from.
long before
Yeah,
Arsenal.
he wanted to go to Arsenal. Fabrizio Romano even said he wanted to go to Arsenal. You understand? But then Arsenal
Fabrizio
also
Romano
fumbled it.
is human. He doesn't work for Morgan Rogers. The only person
Coach,
I
it's the
remember.
same thing. It's the same thing with. It's the same scenario. What happened to the Tottenham midfielder Xavi? Xavi Simons. He also wanted to go to Chelsea, but Chelsea was waiting. Like they kept him on wait, and he ended up going to accepting um, um, Tottenham deal, and he went to Tottenham. So it's normal. It's not like it's not
Here's the
anomaly.
thing,
It's not.
Hakim. I understand what you're trying to say. Maybe the Chelsea fan in me will never allow me to come to terms that, yeah, he wanted to join Arsenal. But I'm just going by what David Austin said. And I
Yeah, you
believe,
could.
and it is of my humble opinion that he didn't want to play Haram football on that Arteta, and that's it. And I'm sticking with it. But you go ahead.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but then sometimes the same way you said we have to analyze something because we can never know the full truth. But then, like when you analyze things, like Fabrizio Romano also said the same thing that he wanted to go to Arsenal. It was all about Arsenal. It was all about Arsenal, and then boom, Chelsea came, and then Chelsea was like, okay, we wanted this player. Alonso wanted this
Are
player
you one
because
of those that was peddling that tale?
No, I
Because
think
you
he was
sound
Alex
like you want to
Goldberg, the
die on that
biggest of
hill.
them. Yeah.
You're getting too involved in that
I'm Chelsea
I
supporter, of course.
drama.
I'm happy
all right.
that he's at Chelsea. I'm
No,
happy,
I
and
understand.
also
I understand.
it's more also like a banter for me to be able to tell Arsenal players, listen, we took the player that you wanted. So
Okay,
like,
Hakim, can I put it this way? Can I put it this way? Don't ruin it for me. I believe what I believe. You can change my mind. Does that make you
okay.
Don't
happy?
upset the host,
But
Hakim.
coach, which one do you think is much better for Arsenal wanting the player, us taking the player from Arsenal, or they don't want the player and then we went and buy them? Which one do you think is better?
Was it a hijack? Yes, he was a hijack. He was
Yeah,
open
and I'm
to
telling you,
join.
which one would you
Let me say
prefer?
something, Hakim. He was open. He was open to join an Arsenal, but it was never set in stone like they made us believe at the time. I had already given up on the possibility of us signing him, given what Alex Goldberg was saying and the news, the reports, constant tweet post on
Yeah,
on the
me
possibility
too.
of him.
I
Yeah,
wasn't
exactly.
even thinking of him coming to Chelsea.
I wasn't, but I have to go with that. What David Austin said basically said he was always Chelsea.
It was
It
always Palmer.
wasn't. Yeah, it was because of Palmer too, and he spoke with the manager. I'm not saying he wasn't on the verge of joining Arsenal. He wanted Chelsea, but maybe wasn't too. Do you remember the report that said we basically took wine and cola to his parents like we want to marry him, and was begging him for his hand in marriage from an Arsenal account? That we were begging him to listen to us sell him the project, which turned out were all lies. But that's by the way anyway. I believe what I believe. You cannot convince me. Was it a hijack? Yes, that made it even better. Was he on the verge of joining Arsenal? Maybe, but it was never set in stone. He at any time didn't say, yeah, it's Arsenal or nothing, not Chelsea, as they were telling us. I think we agree. But you're trying to ruin it for me as a Chelsea fan, my bro. If that makes you
Anyway,
happy.
just on
Yeah.
the Fabrizio stuff about Enzo. So there is no direct quote. This isn't a Fabrizio saying. I'm not sure if you read it, Coach. That
I
he would
saw, I think Drew
read
sent
it.
me
Bring
a
it up and
link.
read it, maybe.
Yeah, let me
Because it's
see.
not
He sent me an Instagram link. Let me read that. The
not
Instagram link.
Instagram.
He says reviewed. That's according to Fabrizio Romano, and that's his main account. Reviewed. It says Enzo Fernandez is Enzo Maresca is pushing to have Enzo Fernandez at City. Reviewed. So that probably leaves room for plausible deniability. They can say, yeah, I didn't
Exactly.
reviewed. Who reviewed it to Fabrizio? We don't know. So that's an
Exactly.
excellent point you're making there. It says reviewed all in caps. That actually precedes the entire report. Plausible deniability again. So that's smart. Enzo Maresca is pushing it to have Enzo Fernandez at Manchester City. The Italian manager has indicated Enzo as top target for Chelsea, for City, ahead of midfield reshape with Rodri to Barca advance. Deal not easy, blah, blah, blah. The latter part of the comment. But the point I'm trying to make here still, this complicates the situation for them. Whether it was reviewed or not, I don't think Chelsea would care. This reeks desperation. You get my point, Dante, but I understand what you're meaning there.
Yeah.
Maresca will not get in trouble because of this, because of the way it is presented.
Well, Maresca hasn't said anything. There's no quote.
No,
There's
he
no
hasn't.
comments.
So
There's absolutely
Fabrizio,
nothing.
clearly says reviewed. He got it from somewhere, and whether Maresca paid him to do that, he can deny that.
Anyway, on his official X account, it says Enzo Maresca would love to reunite with Enzo Fernández at Manchester City since
Cautious
the start
phrasing
of the
too.
window.
Cautious phrasing too.
That's it, from the start of the window. So that's all he says. There's no actual quote or comment. It's, obviously he's putting it out there because he's obviously spoken to someone, but it wouldn't be Enzo Maresca, but he's probably spoken
Yeah.
to someone. But yeah, we've seen Fabrizio get a lot of things wrong as well. So recently, so
All of them get a lot of things wrong. All of them get a lot of things wrong.
I mean, and in Fabrizio's case, deals do fall through.
yeah,
Yeah.
he gets used
But-
quite a lot
Mhm.
these days. He gets used quite a lot, and I think he's falling for it a lot from people he talks to, and I wouldn't be surprised he's going to change very soon. I saw that he's saying he's probably going to change very soon after this transfer window. Did you guys see? He said he's going to. I don't know if he's stepping away or he's changing. He might change jobs.
Somebody was quoting him. I'm not sure whether to believe that or not.
Yeah, it's on his. It was on his account. So yeah, I think because he's being played a bit. I
Maybe
think from
change his
all
approach.
angles. Yeah,
Change
he's
his
gonna change it
approach.
up.
I'd say probably maybe because he got insulted to one of the guys he helped. If you followed the ex, you could say back and
I saw
forth
that,
with
yeah.
him
It's
and one.
been with a couple
Yeah.
of them now.
So maybe he'll
Yeah.
probably not going to be too open with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Maybe,
So,
and not going to be relying with you could say second if he's not the one to break the news, probably he stays away from it or gives someone credit. You'd have to be top level before he quotes you, or maybe I'm just saying. But Dastan Satpaev will officially be a Chelsea player tomorrow. Okay, he turns 18. All right, let's see. I hope for Enzo Fernandez's sake we don't hate him like we do Enzo Maresca. He needs to stop playing foolish games with us.
already happening.
I'm not going to read too much into this. I will not. And that's my opinion. I think Enzo Fernandez checked in at Cobham yesterday to inform the club of his decision given the news. Then they're ruining it for him because Chelsea have every right to move the goalposts. The price we're hearing, as Dante said, minimum. They have every right to say, no, we want 200. It depends. All right. Thank you. That background noise. I'm not going to talk about it. It happens every now and then. But let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. A lot of comments there. Let me see how many I can get. Facts, gratitude. Spanish midfielders are calm. It's their thing. Yeah. Always good in the ball. I've crossed a check. CFC Pies has tweeted, and I've also clicked through the link you sent to me. So yeah, and thank you for sharing the link with me. Good point, Bobby from Bast there. Bobby helps a lot of people cope a lot. Just sell Enzo and get me another midfielder as soon as possible. Enzo Fernandez can leave.
Yep.
I don't care if he leaves or stays, but it needs to
The thing
happen.
with Pies and
Yeah.
Simon Phillips and all these guys, they take that quote and they write it, they change it to how they want to put it across to make the player look even more bad, and Maresca to make him look even more bad.
To be provocative.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
They removed the word reviewed. And had I seen that word reviewed, I don't think I wouldn't even care that much. But I still talk about how that doesn't help Manchester City. Because even they wouldn't like that. I don't think they sponsored that. Because if they sponsored that, they're making it more difficult for them. Because it reeks desperation, irrespective of how you see it.
No.
They wouldn't do that because also they run the risk of Chelsea saying, why are you doing this? He's still under contract at Chelsea. So somebody reviewed that to Fabrizio Romano. And I think it complicates the situation, in my opinion, one way or the other. This remember, Lisa's case, Dante, correct me if I'm wrong, he had a release clause. We triggered that, didn't we?
We did, yes.
And yet they threatened us, didn't they?
Yes, because
Exactly.
apparently one of
So
the
yeah.
approaches was a bit illegal. So, yep.
So they're not helping matters. Kachila, he was on his way to Arsenal. Villa even checked with Arsenal if they would match. Hey, I heard those aspects. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying the way they were, what they were saying, Alex Goldberg and some Arsenal fans saying at the time that, yeah, definitely Arsenal, as if the player himself was never going to consider Chelsea. It turned out he preferred going to Chelsea than Arsenal. It's just that we weren't at the time. We haven't had any conversations, any discussions with Villa, haven't actually made any bid. He was open to joining them, but wasn't his priority. Wasn't, he could say, his preferred destination. If Arsenal was always his preferred destination, we can't change that by just bidding you could say paying a higher fee. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dante.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Exactly. It's really that simple. If Morgan Rogers' preference was to go to Arsenal, even if he paid 200 million, he'd still say, no, I want to go to Arsenal. And would have to take what Arsenal had on the Aston Villa. Then
Yes.
they'd have no option than to take the what Arsenal offered them if it's acceptable to them.
The player has all the power. Yes. When
In
it
that
comes to
case,
that,
yeah.
yes.
Just like we had to sell Christian Pulisic to AC Milan for less, I think it was Monaco that offered a lot more.
Correct. Yeah. We've done that with many players. Yeah.
So that's really the point I'm trying to make. I'm not saying that Arsenal were, no, they led the race for pretty long time, in my opinion. So, but whatever you want, however you want to read this, I think, yeah, that report doesn't help, and I'm quite sure City didn't sponsor that. I'm quite sure Enzo Fernandez's camp, they're not stupid enough to sponsor that, because it makes life a lot more difficult for them. I would move the goalpost too if I were in charge at Chelsea. So we'll move on. The next item here, Chelsea. According to Matt Moreto, Pep Chavarria has just signed his Chelsea contract. I don't know if there's an official announcement already. I don't think there's one. And this here says that Pep Chavarria should be announced soon, according to Nizar Kinsella. The deal already done. And if we're to believe reports that, yeah, his announcement video was leaked on a Korean platform. This one taking too long, and I suspect that maybe they probably end up disappointing us. Just as I suspected Inter would, they disappointed us. Maybe not in papers. Maybe they were just trying to get a favorable deal, and maybe we didn't bulge. Napoli in advance. Napoli in talks. In advanced talks. I need to flip that. For Benoit Badiashile's loan, according to Fabrizio Romano, Napoli are expected to advance for a deal to sign Benoit Badiashile. Negotiations are currently on the way with Chelsea for a loan deal, and I think he would do well there. Yeah, I think he will do well there. Next thing we have here, give me a second here. 7 players. I think we've addressed this. Nothing new here. We're just going to go news hunting to see if anything new emerged. But yeah, interesting times, really. But here's the thing I don't like. Even my bro, because I respect him and I love him, saying he's selling Enzo Fernández to Manchester City shows no ambition. We haven't sold him already. I was going to comment, but I didn't know. When did he join City? Some people just looking for some things to start having a go at the club, which is shameful, really. That's from Hell Gate.
Coach, listen,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy what people are saying. It's more like, you cannot satisfy some of these Chelsea
Yeah.
supporters. Listen, last season, do you know the players that we were signing? Bonanote. Bonanote, those are the players that we were attracting to Chelsea. And imagine, look at the kind of players that we are signing this season. At least, bro, um like you guys just be happy a little bit. Come on. At least, we all had our issue with Bluco. They are making some decisions now. Like we have like like our coach, like the coach or the manager that we have, is like it's a world class manager. Like we're having some good signing. Like, come on, allow yourself to be happy for once. My God, like there was like we all remember the time that we were signing players like Bonanote. We're bringing players like we weren't even having like strikers. Magui was our second striker. Like
Buonanotte was
the
on loan.
midfield.
Leave him alone.
Yeah, it was on loan, but come on, imagine Chelsea bringing player like Bonanote. How desperate were Chelsea to bring
I
player
think
like
that we were
Bonanote?
desperate. We were indeed desperate at the time. But the point I'm trying to make, we're hearing that Enzo Maresca wants to reunite with Enzo Fernandez, and a Chelsea fan in my friend and bro Helgi, the way he phrased it, something to the effect of these clowns selling Enzo Fernandez to Man City shows that these clowns don't have ambition.
But yeah,
What
but the
sort of
player
sense?
wanted to go. The
Hold
player
on,
wanted to
but
go.
he's not considering that. He's not considering that. He's not even considering that we haven't actually sold them in the first place. That's a chance this whole thing we're hearing are just all absolute husdung. But the
That just
point I'm
shows you
trying
the
to
hate
make, there
is
are
strong.
people out there, irrespective of how well we're doing or how things have changed or how we're moving in the right direction, they're just looking for the slightest of opportunity to start having a dig at the club. It just doesn't, and that shocked me actually. If it wasn't for how much I love and respect him, I'd block him by from the sort of things I see from
Yeah.
him. Really, I
It's a
don't know
bit
the
too,
sort of sense
it's been
that
a bit too
makes.
positive lately. That's why.
What?
Even if Enzo go, like it's not bigger than the team, and that's
Exactly.
and for once I can see them bringing player that will complement like Enzo. For this season, we all can see what they are doing. You understand? Like this season is more like a make or break season for them. So like if Enzo, like there's something that you cannot control. There are things that you can control. You cannot control another human being when they want to make a decision. So what does he want them to do? To tie him down, to kidnap him? Like what?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't keep
It,
unhappy player. The same thing happened to Lukaku. Was he also outrageous? Like was he also angry when Lukaku went and did the same thing that Enzo did? Even Enzo did worse.
It sounds like we're giving him away for free. Actually, that's what people are saying. We're not giving him away for free. If anyone wants him, they have to pay a lot of money for him. Basically, a record.
Yeah, Vince is
Of
saying, I
course.
think for our sake, Chelsea need to put a deadline on any deal. Just the same thing we were discussing on any deal for Enzo Fernandez. We don't need it to be dragged towards 31st and be left with no time. I wouldn't actually, even if we're able to bring a player in from the 20th and on, which will a player that definitely will be needing time to adapt. I don't think we should do it, and I think the club probably ready to do that. If they're serious, we're not going to wait for them to finish selling Savinho and the other player before saying, okay, pay. No, I think at some point Chelsea will say, yeah, it's not happening. We're sorry. Yeah, we're not selling him this window. Big up to you too. The truth, nice to see you. He says, Hakim, we live in a world that celebrates negativity and hates positivity. Let the season prove it to them and the good that this season brings. Yeah, honestly, unfortunately on X I did say a few weeks ago that unfortunately being objective doesn't pay. Objectivity doesn't pay. Negativity pays on X, and that's why some people I've seen some people turn 360 and it starts working for them. And congratulations to them. Some of them that's how they make money to eat. Some just deny it so they don't know how to be objective. And some big accounts also build their brand on a toxic foundation. So they have to remain toxic, otherwise nothing. But that's by the way we move on. Big up. So I agree with Vince, and that's something we actually did. We discussed that at length. How at some point Chelsea will say, "Yeah, we're not doing this anymore. We're not going to allow it linger." So they better move. And chances are Fabrizio, I mean, he doesn't work for Man City. Chances are somebody sold him a fake information. Is it believable? It is believable, given the fact that Rodri is leaving. And if you think because they have Elliot Anderson, remember Dante brought that to my attention and it makes perfect sense. Remember how he used Enzo Fernandez. Not deep. Yeah. All right. But big up to you too. The truth, always nice to see you. Announced Chelsea will face a League One side Luton Town in the Carabao Cup second round tie at Stamford Bridge on Thursday, 27th August. Kickoff will be at 7:30 p.m. UK time. So anything new here? I don't know. Arsenal saying they're not selling Lewis-Skelly's. Neither did you see anything else you want us to talk about? Let's see. Michael Owen backs Chelsea to challenge Arsenal for the Premier League, but believes that Chelsea will eventually finish in third place behind Arsenal and Liverpool. At this stage, I would go Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, Man United, and then Tottenham. If Tottenham don't finish top four this season, then yeah, they are indeed Spursy. We've seen a lot of I don't know, the Netflix thing. I'm not sure whether it's out already. Pure box office documentary, the special one, Mourinho, a 3-part documentary series is now on Netflix. I'm gonna watch it. Okay, so they've watched it already. I still have no desire to sell Callis, his name, difficult to pronounce. And this says Chelsea are following River Plate young star Joaquin Freitas, according to Argentine outlet El Crack Deportivo.
Yeah, that's the Enzo replacement, coach.
The name is killing me. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. And I have a very dead in mind. I saw his name.
Without, unbelievable.
Sorry?
You couldn't go
Sorry?
one full show without thinking like that.
I couldn't, but I apologize. I'm not gonna lie about it. I have a very dirty mind. I saw the L crack and my mind went off. Tried to change it to on crack. Freitas.
Poor guy.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, man. And I don't want to ruin his name for him. I apologize. I have to be sincere here. Okay, Dastan Satpaev will officially be a Chelsea player tomorrow when he turns 18. The question now is, what do we do with him? I think a Premier League loan, even Champions League loan, even Strasbourg. Have we exhausted our Strasbourg quota? No, we haven't, right?
Yeah, we have him, but I think this player also they are also looking at Modric, if Modric will go to Strasbourg, but Modric also wanted to stay in England. So if Modric stays in England, maybe Sapaev will go to Strasbourg. I think he
And
needs a loan. There's no need
yeah,
for us
don't
to
forget
be.
he's young, so it doesn't matter. We can send the young ones out, no problem. It's only if
Yeah,
they're over 21. We've only got 6 spots, so
yeah. So I think
Yeah.
the best thing for him is to go to is to have a loan and then play like a competitive European football. Even though he was playing competitive European football, he was playing Champions
Champions
League
League. Yeah.
last season. Yeah,
Champions
he's
League.
more
Yeah.
advanced than his
He
age.
did well, actually. He did well in the
He-
Champions League.
yeah, yeah, he's more advanced than his age. Like his build, his when you see his build, even though he's not tall, but when you see his build and his decision on the ball, like he's more advanced than his age. He's more like Lamine Yamal. Like, but we all know Lamine Yamal is out of this world. Like we have some kids that are 18 years, like but their decisions, it's not like they are so special, but the way their decision on the ball, like they do the basic things so good. You understand? These are that type of players.
You could say advanced beyond their age.
Yeah, they are advanced. He's advanced beyond his age.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
way
kid is good,
advanced,
and he
way
did well.
advanced.
World Cup qualifier too. He was good.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah,
I hope he doesn't
We'll
end
see
up
where he
like
goes. Yeah.
Kendrick Pius. You understand? I hope he stay grounded and then focus on football.
I think he's more grounded. I think he is more grounded than Pies. Yeah, I think I feel bad for Enzo Maresca. If Fabrizio got that from a leak, he's compounding that situation for them, because them getting him from Chelsea is not going to be easier anymore. Yeah, they're desperate, clearly.
I think Fabrizio will get a call from Man City probably, or Chelsea hierarchy. I wouldn't be surprised.
No, Chelsea would like that. It just proves that for them, we say, okay, you're desperate. But go ahead, in my opinion, but go ahead, what you're saying, Dante.
Yeah. But it after what happened recently, that's why I'm only saying, that they would want to find out. And is he talking to our player? He can't be talking to the player directly. Now, like I said, he's got his number privately. They can, because you can be a friend. It's not a problem. But you're not going to prove that. You're not going to actually prove that unless Enzo says it, or Enzo Maresca or Enzo Fernandez actually say that it happened. So, but it's not a good look, either for Enzo Fernandez, his camp, and himself, especially if he told the Chelsea directors something else, and then the Man City as well. It's not a good look for them either. If
It
Fabrizio's
doesn't
putting
help
stuff
their
like that.
case. It doesn't help in terms of the price they will end up paying.
And it doesn't make them look good, doesn't make them look professional. And yeah, that is one thing they don't want their image tarnished.
But if I want,
Yeah.
can I ask you guys a question? Like, what do you think? Do you guys think Enzo should still be the captain if like he stays in Chelsea?
Well, he's
No,
not the
shouldn't
captain.
even be, if there are 5 captains, it shouldn't even be one of them.
Yeah, this is what I was thinking.
He's a
Yeah,
vice
he
captain.
shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
No, I
shouldn't
don't
even
even think
be
he should
the
be the vice captain.
he
I don't
shouldn't
think.
be he shouldn't even be the vice captain. Honestly, his thing, had that incident ended with the first occasion, with the first time he twerked and pole danced for Madrid, that's it. But the biggest problem was he doubled down.
Yeah,
He doubled down.
and
Yeah. Yeah, he doubled down. The second one was like, what are you guys, in my opinion, the way I read it at the time was, it was like, what are you gonna do about it? I want what I want. He
yeah, I
doubled
mean
down,
it's
and
also.
his agent doubled down even more by, you could say, trying to take Chelsea fans and the hierarchy for fools by saying he never said at any time said he wants to join Madrid. What are we idiots? That wasn't
I mean,
okay. Dante,
okay,
you
I
get
don't
my
really.
point. The way his agent spoke showed that, yeah,
Yeah.
for me, he
Well,
was
it's
doubling
true
that.
what he said.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true what he said,
He,
that he never did say it. He just said he wants to, he would love to live in Madrid, move to
but
Madrid.
he
That's what
phrased
he
it in
said.
a
So
way, he spoke the truth, but that just seemed
yeah.
doubling down. He could have said
Yeah, and the
something to the
problem
effect of,
was,
I get the misunderstanding. I think we shouldn't read
yeah,
too much meaning into it. But
correct.
him
Yeah.
saying, just practically just throwing that out there, he's never at any time said, he was being defensive, practically, in my opinion.
Yeah, the problem is, after he said that, the club had a chat to him apparently, and then 2 days later he had another interview and he said it again. So that's where the problem was. Yep.
Exactly. And then his agent start talking about. Do you understand my point by saying the agent was practically defensive?
Yeah, that's why I said he needs to fire that agent. I'm not sure why he's still his agent, to be honest. He
Maybe he was the
Don't you
ruined.
think?
one that put him
Don't
up.
you think
Maybe
it's?
he,
Or don't you think it's coordination? Like, I don't think the agent will make that call without Enzo agreeing. I think it's a plan.
No, I
Enzo has
agree to
clocked
that,
out
but
last season. Last season, when you see last season when he was in Chelsea, like he clocked out. Don't forget, he's part of the team that played, and then Chelsea ended up at 10th position. Most of the players have clocked out. He has clocked out. Gusto clocked
yeah, but he
out.
still was our best player, probably, to be honest, Hakim. He still scored
Yeah,
goals and
yeah.
assists.
I'm not
No,
arguing against that.
no. Enzo has like a pride. You have to understand. He's a prideful player.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, he's a prideful player, regardless of whatever. Like he wouldn't like to tarnish, but you could tell. Like sometimes it's not his fault. Sometimes it feels like he's doing all, putting much effort, and other players are just relaxing. He is a winner. He wants to
Yeah,
win.
of
But
course. Yeah, yeah.
and then when uh, and he with his attitude, of course, he would like to join a team that is also like a win. Is He would like to join a winning team, and also you could also tell the hierarchy at Chelsea are not also doing like look at the players they were signing. As a player like Enzo, he's going to be like, oh, like I don't want to be in this mess anymore. You understand? Since he was in
Of
Chelsea,
course.
Chelsea was in a
100%. Yeah.
Chelsea was in a mess, but like we have to call it out how it is. For me, if Enzo wanna go, he can go. But we shouldn't forget the fact that this the hierarchies at Chelsea also played a part by putting Chelsea in the position that Chelsea was.
Not intentionally.
Oh, come on! Like, of course, not intentionally. Like, I mean, they made like some business, like sometimes some 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 businessmen make some business mistakes, but this kind of mistake is multi-million dollar mistakes. Like the kind of players that they were bringing in, like especially bringing player like Garnacho, who like who on earth knows that Garnacho was a bad player? Didn't know that Garnacho was a bad player. Imagine we as a lame people in football, we knew Garnacho was bad. We knew Garnacho
I
was
didn't
bad.
think he's a bad player. The coach didn't think he's a bad player.
No,
Maybe
it's not like he's.
the argument should be whether he was good enough, or if I think if had Maresca stayed, I think he'd still be here, really.
Exactly.
But I don't
System
want to get
suited Maresca. Unfortunately, he would be still here if Maresca was still here. I can guarantee you that he would be still here.
Yeah, but if you understand what I'm trying to say, I mean the kind of players that they were bringing, like they weren't Chelsea level players. Yeah, but for me, I was telling my friend that Disasi and what is the other player from
But
Monaco?
Hakeem,
Uh,
I think you're mature enough to understand what the project was and what they were doing and why we were signing those players.
So yeah, I try to understand it. It's more like your ex hurting you, and you try to understand why she was doing that, and you keep on, and it can't explain itself. Like I can't understand some of their decision. Like in a team like Chelsea, come on, like Brighton don't even make that mistake. Some of the mistake that they were doing, how they were signing some players, I was thinking it was like money laundering. Like Disasi and this place, like when
Yeah, of course, there's
they talk about,
mistakes, but that's what I'm trying to tell you.
but
There's
how
gonna be
many
a lot of
mistakes are you
mistakes.
supposed to make? How many mistakes? I swear I don't know what they I don't know why they are still employed in Chelsea. This mistake that they did, even AC Milan will not accept this kind of mistake. AC
Come on,
Milan
Hakeem,
sack.
that's what I told you. You know the project, what the project was. You know
Yeah,
exactly
I
what the
know what the
project.
project was, but how many times have they failed on the project? Listen, if you go in Chelsea right now and you go and check the type of players, these young players that they've signed, like it's a lost. Dato Fafana lost. Kellyman lost. The Jamaican player he lost. Kendrick Pius lost.
Okay,
Like
yeah,
I could
yeah. Of
go
course, you
on
can
and
name
on.
plenty, but we can name good ones as well. Doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. What matters
Yeah,
is they did a pro and they stuck to it for the 5 years. And now they've changed it, and that was
yeah, I understand. I understand you perfectly. Like they have a project, but even like the project that they were embarking on, it has been a failure. From beginning to end. So it's more like
wait. So you consider the Club World Cup a failure?
no, it's not a failure.
All right.
This is Chelsea. This is not the first time that we're winning trophies. We've been winning trophies before they've been in Chelsea. So like winning trophy it's not a new thing. Come on, we shouldn't.
All right, can you hear? Yeah. I think we're free forming here. I've
Yeah,
got
I
to
know,
run
but I'm
soon
saying,
myself. Yeah.
it hasn't been a complete failure. It has not been a failure. It's been a process, not a failure. I don't
Oh,
see it
for
as a
me, it's a
failure.
failure.
Not an outright failure, in my opinion, for multitude of reasons.
Come
But
on,
it depends on who.
coach.
It
Have you
depends on
guys
who you ask.
forgetting that?
We don't have to agree. We don't have to
No, no, no,
agree.
no, no. But
Mistakes. A lot of
coach,
mistakes were made.
coach. There was
Definitely.
time in Chelsea. There was a time in Chelsea where if we win in the Premier League and we don't see it as even like, and we are not even satisfied. How, like, you guys, it's more like you guys have been broken that you accept the bare
No,
We
minimum
you're
of
won. We
broken,
Arsenal.
not
won the
me.
Premier League
No, no,
before
no,
that.
no.
We didn't
Don't
win.
phrase it that way. Listen to me. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say that I have never for once said the owners are perfect. I just like to speak objectively about situations. I will be the first to tell you, one of the first to tell you, they've made mistakes, and I can list the mistakes. You understand? I think people listen to me talk about Chelsea and the ownership. They feel like, yeah, I'm. You could
You're on the
say
payroll.
they want,
You're on
oh,
the
because
payroll.
I'm not screaming blue coat out,
Yeah.
that I'm not a good Chelsea fan. No, and more importantly, it's my job to moderate. I listen to everybody's opinion, express my own opinion. You conclude where you think I stand. And some people will come here first and ask me, are you blue coat out or in? And I don't like answering such question.
To,
I have never
to
for
be hon-
once said that they're perfect. They're not sent. They've made mistakes. They've done a lot of goods too. In all honesty, the argument where that measuring what they've won and what they haven't won, for me, it's not as bad as a lot of people make it up to be. They've made a lot of mistakes. It depends on who you ask, and we will keep debating these till the end of the world. You
Yeah,
cannot
it'll never
convince
end.
me it has all been mistakes, and it will not end. You cannot convince me to turn around and say, yeah, you know what, since they've joined us, it has always been mistake after mistakes after mistakes after mistakes. You did agree that the Club World Cup isn't a failure.
no,
So
I
it
never
depends on who
agreed
you
that this was
ask.
a failure.
Exactly.
I
So
didn't
I
say
say
I didn't say
you did agree, which means you agreed that
that
it wasn't a failure.
no, it wasn't a failure.
Exactly. So we're on the same page. But the point I'm trying to make, I will never agree that it has always been bad things since they became our owners. I don't think so. They've made mistakes, and I can list a few. But please, let's move on from that. Things
Let's
are
move on, 'cause
looking
we'll go forever otherwise.
things are looking good right now. I think I want to enjoy that moment. I think because the ownership
Yes.
actually, I've fallen out with some of at least one panelist one panelist that I know I respected a lot. He wanted everybody in the panelist group to be screaming blue coat out and be name calling them. And when he was told to stop name calling, that we don't do that in the group. We like objectivity. He left and probably started saying some nonsense about it, but I don't care. I have the first person that was you could say the person I respect the most, because he was the person that kept me company during my first live stream, that I was so freaking nervous. If he wasn't on the panel, I don't think I would have gotten through. I would have I think I would have half won the day, shut it down. I sensed he was becoming you could say hostile towards my views, you could say me not screaming blue coat out. He was becoming hostile to me, and I was able to like take a step back and you could say not let it escalate, because I love and respect him, and I let him know I respect your opinion. We all don't have to agree. So the point I'm trying to make, irrespective of how you see me, I had to come in because you say it looks like you all have been washed. No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying the owners are sent, and I'm never going to agree also that everything they've done since they've become all owners, it has all been, they all wrong stuff, all bad stuff. They've broken everything, and they don't want to win, and they just want to make
Yeah, but
profits.
coach, you have to understand,
Yeah,
football is an emotional game. You understand?
it
Like,
is. I totally understand.
It is, yeah.
football is the only thing that, regardless of how angry you are, you'll be angry, but you still have to go to the stadium and watch. You still have to sit on your ass and watch, even if your team are playing bad. So sometimes people can't control, like they just wanna, get it out. You understand? I understand. For me, there was some time, like, to tell you the truth, no one is going to say
Is it?
they don't change their views. Sometimes I'm screaming Bruco out, like, it's, I never go on the like public saying Bruco out, but when I'm watching the game, I'm more like, these people have to go. But then when we won the Club World Cup, I was like, okay, yeah, I have a little bit of faith. You understand? And then, but it's football is crazy. Like, it drives you crazy. It makes you act some sort of abnormal. But I don't think like
Listen.
because of that,
Mhm.
you have to take it
No, I
on like
don't.
you have to take it on a different level where you have to be angry with people, to be
No.
saying a whole lot of things with people. Like, yeah, I think
Or
you have to be
maybe
able to
stop, or
control your
maybe
emotions.
blocking and stop talking to people because they disagree with you. No, the only sort
Yeah,
of people I
exactly.
block,
That is too far.
the only sort of people I block is those that they're doing it to an extent, to a measure where when you look at everything they're saying, it's just pure negativity. They're not even trying to be objective. They don't like for somebody coming and saying these owners all they want to do is make money.
And
They
they
don't
want to
want to
make us
be
bankrupt.
successful on the
Yeah.
pitch. How possible is that? When you
Yeah,
know that one cannot exist without the other. You can't make profit without being successful on the pitch.
yeah, exactly. Like compared to
Exactly.
this,
I hate that sort of senselessness. And when I try
yeah,
to
yeah,
tell people you are not making sense when you're saying this, they say, yeah, you're not proper Charles. But that's, by the way, that's how we operate here. We accommodate everybody's opinion. As long as you're able to speak objectively and defend your stance, you get counter. Look, name calling is what we don't accept. Irrespective of how you feel about the situation, you're welcome here. And that's how we disagree all the time. I hate it when we agree, actually. What we don't like is personal insult and all that. But that's, by the way, we have a few things to catch up with here. A few days ago, Chelsea was saying there's an expectation Enzo Fernández will remain a Chelsea player for Xavi Alonso's debut season. That's probably them maybe telling you you're going to get him, but it's not going to be easy. That's how I read that. And let me see, anybody here that I haven't said hello to? I think I haven't said hello to you too. Hello to you too. Big up to you, Gabby. I appreciate you for finding the time to join the conversation. Chelsea are prepared to sell Enzo Fernandez, but the 120 million pounds prize may only be available for a set time. Chelsea want their squad settled for the start of the season versus Fulham on the 24th. You see that conversation we had, Dante? If you're still there, Hakim, at some point Chelsea will say we're not selling again, because you see the latter part of the report on the screen. You see it, Dante. You see that conversation we had today. We discussed that at length. How at some point, okay, that's not on the screen, but Vic shared it there. He reads: Chelsea are prepared to sell Enzo Fernandez, but the 120 million pounds prize may only be available for a set time. Chelsea want their squad settled before the start of the season versus Fulham.
yeah. Of
So
course, when you
that conversation, yeah.
if
So
you
at
don't want to
certain
buy him
points, yeah,
now
go
and then
ahead.
you want to wait, then you have to pay a prime, like a prime price.
Yeah,
It's simple
exactly.
as that.
Exactly.
It's
So
simple as
we're
that.
making it clear, yeah. So which means we're not afraid to keep him. If at that point, if at certain days you don't come for him and pay how much we're asking, we're gonna change the price. And
Yeah, I
we're
mean, you
making it
also have to
clear.
put respect on his name. Like, this is a World Cup winner. World
Exactly.
Cup winner. It's not like he's also like a sideline. Like
And finalist also.
a finalist also. So
Could have
you
won it
wouldn't
two in
treat
a
him
row.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, you wouldn't treat him as if you are buying like a, let's say, like even Morgan Rogers. Look, as soon as like we know the price. We went in and bought him without wasting any time, and then you want to buy player like Enzo Fernandez, and then you want to waste time trying to get him on a cheap, and then act as if it's not that important, act as if it's not that good. No, no.
Bobby, I said I know you're probably listening. You can come in anytime, but we're about to round off. I know you probably sometimes you prefer eating your popcorn and enjoying the show. Let's see. Enzo Fernandez thought that the owners were building a project to win the league title. That was the intent. You could argue it didn't work out, but he realized that the owners did the project for profit, but also, yeah, absolute husdong right there for opinion, in my opinion. But that's, by the way, Bobby, anything else you want to say before we call it a day?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think, what has happened is we had people through very unusual circumstances come and buy the club. They didn't necessarily understand how to operate a football club of this magnitude in this part of the world. and they made some mistakes. They would tell you themselves they made some mistakes. One of the biggest mistakes I'm sure they would hold their hand up to was that they had actually come to the end of the first part of the project successfully. They were building up to the culmination of the Club World Cup. The pieces of the puzzle was falling in place nicely. Then they became arrogant. Rather than
1 year
then
ahead of
bringing,
schedule, though, Bobby. Yeah.
well, yeah, they became arrogant. Rather than bringing in the players that could finish the job or take the club then far in the Champions League or even challenge for the Premier League, they reverted to silliness. The sporting directors felt that they knew better than anybody else in the world, that their project of, constantly buying young developing players would work and see them through. Enzo Maresca saw to it that it became a disaster. He sabotaged the club, and the rest is history. They then went and brought in Rosinia when really they perhaps shouldn't have. Probably would have been better off bringing in someone like John Terry or a more stabilizing force. But the season ended in disaster. And that's what upset players like Enzo and Cucurella, because they didn't sign up for that. They signed up for a continuity, and they signed up for a progression, and they signed up for glory and trophies. Now they're sort of rethinking and restarting, and they've completely changed their ways. Now, where does that lead us? Well, time will tell. But one thing, coming back to the Enzo Fernandez thing, is as we've said, I think by the end of this week, if nobody comes in with this 120 million and all this yada yada yada, I love Enzo, I've been dreaming about Enzo, which is what some of these content creators are trying to say that Maresca is doing. If nothing happens at the end of this week, I don't see him going from next week, because next week they have to prepare for the start of the season. And Alonso is not a chaotic guy. He's not going to not want his key players available to him. So they have this week. After that, the door will be closed.
For it, like, don't waste our time. If you want him, come now, take him. At certain point, the price changes. But by the way, I don't know. Anything else you guys want us to talk about before we call it a day? I think we've been streaming for 2 hours and 54 minutes, nearly 3 hours. I think that's become the regular. Right now, we'll probably be talking a lot more about Enzo Fernandez to Manchester City tomorrow.
All good. I think we've covered everything.
All right, Hakeem. Okay. Anything else from you? We're good to go. I think. Yeah, that's it. Bobby, thank you. And with that, we've come to the natural end of this particular edition of the Blue Morning Show. Thank you to the captain of the community in Constantine Dunn. And big up to you, asking the panelist Bobby, for finding the time to join the conversation. Hakeem, also thank you for finding the time to join the conversation. And in the chat, we have Mabast05, aka MB05. Thank you for joining the conversation. We had who else was here? Vic also here. Vic, thank you for joining the conversation. Namaya Fawale was also here. Who? And 888 was his name again. And if I miss your name, apologies, I'm only human. And the truth also was also here. If I miss your name, apologies. See you guys next time. Cheers.
From the bridge to the stand, I carry that crest in my hand, rain on my shoulders. I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold. Every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our scan. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the badge says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold.